Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Greatest Rivalry Tour. This one, the last of the URC franchise matches. The Lions taking on the All Blacks. Now, currently New Zealand, they are sitting 4 wins from 4, expected to be 5 from 5, heading into that second test. But this Lions team, it's decent on paper. I'm hoping they can make a decent showing for themselves and keep this game relatively competitive throughout the early stages, but there are a few big surprises in terms of this All Blacks lineup. We see the return of Richie Mo'unga in the number 10 jersey, Beauden Barrett's at 15 with Rico at 13. It's an old school kind of throwback lineup per se, but then also a lot of young, bright, talented future players for the All Blacks here as well. But we are about an hour away from the kickoff, the last time that we've got the nice hour-long kickoff or build-up for a URC matchup. I hope you guys are all doing well. It is currently 4 a.m. here in New Zealand, so I know there'll be a few tired Kiwis waking up for this contest too. But we will see you popping in all throughout the build-up. We have got the All Blacks all the way, says Yong in there, and the Lions win, end of discussion, says Lawyer up. And that's the thing, this Lions team, on paper, they are missing Morne Vandenberg. That is one of their Springboks. Other than that, though, they haven't got a huge amount of changes compared to what we would normally see in a URC season. So that is one big bonus for this Lions team. They should have a bit more cohesion as a whole compared to some of those other URC teams. It is being played at altitude, and they haven't been going too bad in the Currie Cup, the Lions as a whole. So who knows, maybe this game is the closest out of the New Zealand versus URC matches. We have got there, Desvonde has said any team can lose in rugby. Do your prep work correctly, says Desvonde. And there as well for this All Black side, of course, not wanting to underestimate what this Lions side can bring. We've got their evening seers back Saturday, says Mohadeen. So has it been confirmed that he is going to be the starting number 6? Because I know in the original Rossi lineup, he actually had 2 options. He had either Sia Corlisi as the first half and then Paul de Villiers as the second. When his kickoff has taken place at 7 p.m. South African time, 5 a.m. New Zealand time. So we're actually about 58 minutes away, a little while. We have got the All Blacks by 50 points, says Angie there. And also we have got there, where's your Milo? Hamish Jugs on, says Scheme. And Grand Rising, Hamish, says Scheme there too. And also offer out of the match day squad with illness. Numia is on the bench now. Really? So that's, tell you what, that's not ideal. Having a guy who you've just flown over from from New Zealand now out. I will get the updated squad going in the very near future. But Numia is also not 100%, right? In terms of their injury. So, yeah, nervous times at the moment for New Zealand. I have no idea who they're going to have as the replacement loosehead for the game just this weekend. Of course, Rassi has already announced his team. We're still a wee way off Dave Rennie announcing his. We have got there on the South African. I really hope the Lions is winning. Just to break this winning thing the All Blacks has and to save face for us this week. Says Deep Sleep Sounds. And also Morning All, says David there. Welcome in, David. Hope you are doing very nicely. And kia ora listening in from Germany. Says Tar there. And nope, Numia is fine. Yes, it was tight Achilles last weekend. So obviously he's continued quite nicely in the recovery process. And yeah, you'd have to hope that there is absolutely nothing wrong. Numia would have played this game had he had De Groot not knocked himself out. I like how you're just blaming De Groot for that one. Of course, Josh Lord, nasty collision with De Groot over the weekend. Has there been any sort of update about De Groot's knee? Because I know it's all been about the concussion, but that knee did not look too flash for Ethan De Groot as a whole. We have got there 60-15 in favour of the All Blacks. It's Kiwi Rob's prediction there. I would have loved Numia in the tight head. And All Blacks going to win, says Stefan there. But yeah, do let me know your score predictions for this game, of course, ladies and gentlemen. This matchup, like I mentioned, it is not a mile away from starting up compared to some of the build-ups that we have had throughout this Greatest Rivalry Tour. The big change in the number 10 jersey, Richie Mo'unga for his first minute. Some thought maybe Jacob would have got himself the nod there, but looking through at this All Blacks starting 15, it is Siali Lawaki as that number 1, Samasoni Tokiaho at 2 with Basilio Tossi slotting in as the number 3, Sam Gary alongside Patrick Tuipulotu, 2 men who have been in some very good form as a whole, and I feel like that's something that we've noticed from New Zealand. There isn't really a lot out of form at this current point in time. We saw a man of the match worthy performance from Fabian Holland just last weekend. I do think that, Josh Lord was maybe the guy out of everyone who wasn't in the absolutely greatest form. Like, he had still been playing very nicely. But as a whole, I don't think there is too much problem for New Zealand in the locks, other than maybe the lack of numbers that they've got now with that Jamie Hanna inclusion into the team. How risky is it to wait till game day to see if he is fit enough? I mean, it's kind of risky, but at the same time, kind of risky is what Rassi lives his coaching career by. He will make the changes that no other coach is willing to do, and he will announce a side when no other side is willing to announce it. Monday is a crazy time to announce a team, but, I still think back to those 2 matches in New Zealand, how New Zealand won at Eden Park. Rassi announced early, and everyone said, oh, there's panic for the Springboks, and then they came out and absolutely gave New Zealand a hiding for that second game, so that could happen again if we're not too careful. But New Zealand, of course, they've been looking to go 2 from 2 the early stages of the tour. But we have got there, hopefully, Tavatavanawa has a great game. I'd like to see him against South Africa. He'd be a great impact player off of the bench, even though Dave Rennie will probably go down the Anton Leonard-Brown route instead. But yeah, I think Timothy Tavatavanawa has a huge future in an All Blacks kit. It's just about giving him that opportunity. He beats defenders and he always gets those turnovers in the breakdown, which could be absolutely massive in a close kind of matchup. We have got there, this will be closer than what people think due to the prep the Lions have, plus they've been training with the Box for the past few weeks. So it's continued drought. Yeah, see, for me, I think this will be at times the most competitive we see a side up against New Zealand, purely because New Zealand, yes, they've got a lot of changes, but some of these combinations are very new. Richie Mo'unga has not played a single minute for the All Blacks in that number 10 jersey throughout this greatest rivalry tour. You've got guys like Siali Lawaki, who's playing Lucy for the first time in this tour as well. A bit of a reshuffle in that backline as a whole. So I don't see this being completely smooth sailing for New Zealand. I think it gets better as the match wears on, but for the maybe first 20 or so minutes, it could be very competitive between these two sides. One moment, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll very quickly mute. 1 second, we'll hide off to the side like we normally do. Hang on, that one and this one. 1 second. Right, we are good. Managed to avoid a sneeze there, so that is ideal. We have got there, De Groot lost every scrum. Look at what happened when Bauer came on. First scrum and it stabilised. The full should not have taken the field, says Fred Kelly. Yeah, although I also do think that, when you look at the Highlanders Super Rugby Pacific season, what they were able to do as a whole, winning the most scrum penalties out of any side, it was obvious from the get-go, as soon as De Groot's knee buckled the first time, he wasn't anywhere near his best. And I do think that came into the equation quite a bit. A lot of people going, oh no, the scrummaging wasn't there, but normally De Groot's scrum is one of the stronger around. Bauer had the benefit of 2 legs working and also have that freshness off the bench as well, which did really help New Zealand stabilise nicely. But yeah, I think it's pretty harsh on De Groot to say that his normal scrummaging isn't up to par. I think that knee was just giving him no ability to put power down and be able to push hard. So yeah, Bauer though, tell you what, people who normally give him stick were well and truly singing his praises after what he was able to do over the weekend. That massive penalty that New Zealand won just out from the line was absolutely phenomenal for New Zealand and the momentum of that game. We have got there 100%. Anton Leonard-Brown is Mr. Reliable. Says Yusuf, and he's actually been in some pretty good form as a whole. We have got there, De Groot was also having to scrum with a munted knee, along with being sick the day before, according to Rennie. Says continued drought. Geez, tell you what, he's had a bad week then, hasn't he? If he's probably still technically sick, you'd think he hadn't recovered from that as of yet. He's now got a bad knee and he's got a concussion. So he's not going to be feeling the best as a whole. Ethan Groot, you wouldn't think. Springboks are not winning this weekend, no chance this scheme. And this could be the most entertaining game of the tour as long as they keep their hands on the ball on both sides, says Fred Kelly. On Bodie, we need you back, says Dunk. And they're too, and it's interesting with Beauden Barrett in terms of where does that man actually fit into the equation for this New Zealand side. Is he a starting 10 at some stage throughout these test matches? Is he a starting 15 if we see some sort of injuries? Or has he gone down the pecking order to maybe at best a bench spot for one of the tests as well? Which, depending on how Mo'unga goes, he could actually find himself as the reserve 10 rather than a Josh Jacob or a Beauden Barrett. It depends if they actually go straight up reserve 10 as well, or whether they feel like they've got enough cover in the starting lineup with Ruben Love as well as Mackenzie. Morning, Hamish, from Brisbane Browns Plains. Let's go the AB, says Harry there. Beauden Barrett is always the disconnect in the back line, an interesting AB's team. And also hi from Canada, Hamish. Why has Richie Mo'unga been out for the All Blacks for so long? For someone so talented, I'm surprised for his absence. So pretty much it came down to his Japanese contract. With New Zealand, it is still the eligibility process that does cause a few troubles for certain players. So Mo'unga had about a 3 or 4 year contract overseas in Japan. He wanted to come back early, but due to the obligations of his contract, he pretty much had to see them out. And then from there, now that that contract has finished, he's able to play for New Zealand as long as he had NPC time. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze again. So I'll hide off to the side and fix myself up. We are good, hopefully. Hay fever's hitting me in the face today, ladies and gents. I heard that, but I thought playing for your country be the priority, not for New Zealand rugby. They have had it for a very long time that if you go overseas, unless it's a sabbatical, they're not going to let you play for the All Blacks. And it's something that many coaches have tried to get changed. It's something that Australia have adapted to bringing out the Ghetto law, or getting rid of the Ghetto law. But yeah, New Zealand is still, in some regards, about 10 years behind everyone else when it comes to the eligibility process. I know that there are a couple other countries that do still do it. Someone like an Ireland, they pretty much say if you're not playing for an Irish side, then you aren't going to get that opportunity for the internationals, which is why someone like a James Lowe, now that he's going overseas, he's no longer eligible for the Irish. We have got there, I'd like to see Rennie put Love at 15 and Mo'unga 10, or Mo'unga off the bench. I think Mo'unga off the bench is a very good option rather than him starting at 10 and moving Love to 15. I think Love's been doing well enough from that number 10 jersey, and I'd hate to see a reshuffle now with how well he's starting to adapt to that 10 option. We have got there, if the Lions score at least 3 tries, I'm happy. Says Johnny there. Hamish is at you. Welcome to Lions Country, says Albert. Welcome in, Albert. You are doing very well. We are around 45 minutes from the kickoff of this contest. Still plenty of time before getting into the game. We haven't even broken down what's happened so far in this greatest rivalry tour, but of course that big win over the last weekend. The All Blacks, they'd love to continue that momentum here as well as for the upcoming second test. We have got there, do you think Beauden Barrett could back up Richie or Ruben as the backup for Richie? Wait, do you think Beauden Barrett could back up Richie or Ruben as the backup for Richie? Some people aren't happy with Richie being rushed into midweek All Blacks, says Kiwi Rob. So I think at the moment Richie's probably the backup for Ruben Love, which is a combination that you didn't actually use in terms of your first two. I think that Dave Rennie is still backing Ruben Love as his starting 10 in the test matches. Don't get me wrong, if Richie Mo'unga has a big game here, there'll be a lot more pressure on that jersey. But for me personally, as well as what seems like for Dave Rennie, you still have to give Love those opportunities. And Josh Jacobs probably the guy that's going to suffer the most from Mo'unga being back in the team, because he's just going to struggle to get more than opportunities off of the bench now. Lions win, easy meet, says Raptor. In fact, I don't even think we see Jacob feature in any of the tests that are coming up. I'd say more than likely Mo'unga off of the bench, or Damian McKenzie, maybe, depending on how they go with the reshuffle, or Beauden Barrett even. Goes to show no one followed him in one league. He's absolutely still world-class, says Scheme. And no lost talent with Mo'unga with the keys, says Scheme. Yeah, so he's been in great form throughout the last couple of years. A little bit similar to what we saw for Anton Leonard-Brown. How a lot of people, because they didn't see him in Super Rugby, went, okay, he must not be doing nicely. But that man beat over, over 50 defenders in the Japanese season. It might even been over 100. He was making running meters all over the place, getting try assists. I know we're still 45 minutes away from the start. If the All Blacks scored yet, says Mark, not quite. But we have got the updated little ticker across the bottom that is going to tell you the try scorers for this contest as well. But yeah, we're a little way from the kickoff. I'm about to sneeze again. Hopefully the hay fever does go away before we get into the contest, or else we're going to be hiding a lot throughout the stream. 1 second. We're back. We're good to go. I decided, unfortunately we were doing a little bit of work outside and there was a lot of pollen around yesterday, so obviously that's kicked me in the head. We've got there Tamatava Nawai, Narawa. We have a field day today, says Harry Pottard, and I want to add another man's name to that equation, and that is Fihi Whittingham-Nofo. He has scored a lot of tries for the Hurricanes throughout Super Rugby Pacific, and this type of game does really I think, optimise his skills. We have got there your way, Hamish. So Composed Brothers says scheme, and the All Blacks team is a bunch of mud slingers. Says Raptor there. And a Sky Sport working for you, says Jasmine. I haven't actually tried loading it up yet. I know that the coverage for the rugby was supposed to start at 4:15. It was initially going to be, I believe, 4 p.m. maybe. Or sorry, 4 a.m. And we have got there, my son's been sneezing all week. Says scheme. And there too, but 1 second, we'll go like that. You see, at the moment, they've still got the La Fluelta. Is that like the cycling, I believe, is still on the Sky Rugby channel that we are going to see. Morning, lads. Brother Hamish. I was your 23 sub. Proud of you. Says Ballast Trade in there as well. And also, we have got there if the Lions draw with the All Blacks. Will it be Tiger? That's an interesting use of a pun, but I'm not completely annoyed about it. And Holland and Paddy says scheme there for the combination for the test, I assume you're talking this weekend. So obviously, in this scenario, Patrick Tuipulotu will not want to play a full 80 minutes, and they more than likely will bring Jamie Hanna on as a replacement halfway through. But yeah, it's not easy for Hanna in this scenario. If he is coming straight off a plane, we've seen Ofa Toingafasi dealing with sickness. I wonder whether or not Hanna is dealing with that same one. I keep getting the same person on the bike. And then it freezes, says Jasmine, and Samisi to score first. Yeah, Samisi Tupotai lower. A little bit of, once again, similar to Mothi Tavanawai. I think a hidden gem in terms of this All Blacks pack. Ethan Blackadder even. You know, he hasn't looked too bad making his way off the bench in a few of the games. This will be his first official start of this greatest rivalry tour. And he's another one who some people even wanted to see make his way off the bench in the first test after that late change of Anton Segno. Hi, Hamish, says Luke, welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Yeah, I hope you are excited for this upcoming test. We are about 40 minutes from the kickoff, but what we're going to do is we're going to look through at this greatest rivalry tour so far for this All Black side. There we go. And as you can see, it's been a pretty successful tour so far for the Kiwis. They were able to get themselves the victory over the Stormers, 38 points to 21. Then from there, the 54-0 win over the Sharks. Now, that game, unfortunately, never got close. And it is a shame because there should have been potential for the Sharks to at least get 1 or 2 tries throughout that matchup, but no way through the All Blacks defence. The half century brought up by New Zealand in their game against the Bulls at Loftus. 50 points to the 19. That is the location of the third test match. And then from there, we saw the opening contest of the test, 33 points to 16. I don't think many people were anticipating a scoreline like that at all. And, you know, for me, I thought it would go down to the wire. Thought it was going to be one of those ones that could easily have gone either way, which it really could have up until the last maybe 5 or so minutes. Then from there, New Zealand were really able to cement themselves as the victors and build that momentum heading into Test Match 2. But this Lions side, for anyone who is unfamiliar with this team, they did finish 7th in the URC standings. As you can see, URC was absolutely phenomenal when it came to a few of those lower-ranked sides in terms of the top 8 trying to sneak their way in. Connacht were able to win their last 2 round games. That was able to boost them into the top 8 just ahead of their fellow Irish team Ulster. The Sharks, they were the only South African side to miss out on the top 8, but the Lions, they've been very close the last few years. They normally finish in about 9th or 10th, but this time making their way to the quarterfinals, although they did meet up against a very tough Leinster side, and in the quarterfinal losing at 59 points to the 10. They were able to have a close game with Munster the week prior, or 2 weeks prior, 24 points to 17, and then losing to Leinster 31-7. So not the greatest form at the end of the campaign, but still did enough in those random moments near the end of the season to be able to book themselves a spot. In the quarters, these are the most recent, or the upcoming, I should say, Lions matches, as I'm about to sneeze again. 1 second, I will quickly mute while we can read through those. Right, we are good. Again, as you can see, they've got their game up against Leinster, so they're finding Leinster a lot in the URC, whether it's this year or last season. Then from there, the Ospreys, then a South African derby on the 11th of October for us here in New Zealand. That will be the 10th of October in South Africa. La Rochelle for the Champions Cup. Then from there, Edinburgh as well as Glasgow as their next to fixtures for this New Zealand side. Of course, they have still got those upcoming test match up against South Africa, 3 in a row, that are going to be taking place. 2 in South Africa, Cape Town this weekend, Loftus the weekend after, and then Baltimore for the final test of the Greatest Rivalry Tour. But then they have got the Bledisloe Cup going head-to-head with the Australians in mid-October. 2 matches, 1 on New Zealand soil, 1 on Australian soil, and then the Nations Championship games. They are all very crucial, as at the moment New Zealand and South Africa both sit top of the bunch with bonus points from every single one of their victories. But Scotland, Wales, and the English, the three sides that New Zealand will be playing. But we have got plenty of messages still coming through, ladies and gents. Offa is going to destroy. Offa, unfortunately, is out with a sickness. Someone has said so. Numia instead will be making his way off of the bench. A bit of a late change for the Kiwis. And we have got there, let's go the Lions. Well, let us Lions, says Thomas. Good morning, everyone. Got my Milo ready for this last midweek game. This looks like a strong All Blacks team that can do the job, says Michael Paul. We have got there, you must have been pretty happy Sunday morning. I was pretty sleep-deprived Sunday morning. I can't even remember half of that game. I'll have to rewatch it before this weekend. But it's been such a hectic kind of tour. I have to say, I wanted a closer game, which sounds really bad to say. And I know that some people would be annoyed with a statement like that, but I wanted to see it go down to the wire, the very first test match, and sadly, we didn't get to see it. But I think we're going to see a closer game this weekend with a little bit of luck, and one that could easily go either way. Q and Horn and Funvake are excellent players, says Reno, and I do want to add a couple extra players into that mix as well. I feel like in terms of Eric Cronje's current form, he's been doing very nicely for the Lions, a bit of an underrated part of this Lions team. And then also in terms of the forward pack, a big man like a Tini Ustays and or Batho Klachani certainly could make a big difference in this type of matchup. We need to see physicality from the Lions, and I feel like both of those men certainly bring it. And Tini Ustays, and he's a huge human. That's how I described him in the preview, and yeah, he's certainly one to keep an eye out for. We have got there, what chances do the Lions really have? I think the All Blacks are supposed to win this game by about 40. As the way that the odds have them, which isn't ideal for the Lions, but hopefully they can keep it that little bit closer. 1 second. Right, we are back again. I'd love to see Josh Jacob play 15 at some point, says Alberold. Yeah, see, that's the tricky part at the moment, because where does Jacob fit in now that Moonga is back? I don't see a way that he squeezes into any of those test matches, so this will be his last opportunity to really show what he can do. We have to get the update on Segner. Sounds like the ankle is really causing him trouble, and it sounds like he might even be heading home in the relatively near future. And how Segner makes bench, I don't think we're going to see Segner too much more. And Botha could be the next Willem Alberts. Says Reno there for PJ Botha there. And also, as Satiti is not involved in this game, already is on the bench for the second test, and Bai going back to lock. Satiti is not involved in this game. He's playing from the number 6 jersey in this contest, so unless there's been another late change for New Zealand. I know that Ofa Toangafasi is one of the changes that New Zealand have had to deal with. And Tupou, huge game first test, says Luke Haywood. The Box should have squeezed one more game in to start, or in before the start of the tour. I agree. I feel like it was interesting that they didn't have a game the week before, similar to what we saw for some of their other, the Nations Championship. They played the week prior up against the Barbars in the Irish test matches throughout last year or the year prior. They had that warm-up game up against the Barbarians as well, or up against the Welsh. Like, this was almost uncharacteristic of the South Africans not to have that warm-up matchup, and they certainly did show a couple signs of rust in that game against New Zealand, particularly in the handling errors department. We have the offer out Numia in. Correct, yes. So offer Tonga Fasi out with the sickness, which does bring Xavier Numia in as that bench replacement spot. We have got Lions all the way. Says Raptor, and you're still my second best New Zealand friend. Says Cool Story and there as well. But yeah, it does seem like Sky Sport are currently having a few technical difficulties in terms of their Lions versus All Blacks coverage. It hasn't really kicked in as of yet, but as soon as it does, of course, we will be doing the commentary. And we have there OMFG. Sky Sport needs to get their act together. Still showing the cycling, says Jasmine. I'm sure Hotham will be feeling better than the last time he played a South African team, says Mark. And as your Sky Sport 1 having loading issues, yeah. Currently it is still doing like that little spinny thing. And geez, update you to All Blacks team sheet. Says Dunk, we will get onto it, but we are currently multitasking, trying to get Sky Sports sorted first. I feel like if everyone, in terms of what they prefer to have, in terms of the coverage of the game, in terms of commentary, or one name changed, I think they'd choose the coverage. So we are still trying our best to sort it. Right, it seems like the cycling is the thing that is currently playing. 1 second, we'll go like that. Okay, so yeah, now I've at least got the cycling, which is more than we had before. But it is also still frozen, so I'm sure Sky Sport will get it sorted. They seem like a competent bunch of people. So we'll wait for it, and hopefully they get it sorted before the game. We have got there, the live is absolutely horrendous, says Scheme. Yeah, although it looks like a very cinematic, nice shot of a cycling track in the mountains. Although I don't know how much people want to see that rather than Ellis Park for this contest that is coming up. But yeah, this game is only sitting around 35 minutes away, ladies and gents. Anyone who is new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are back for the 3 more test matches that have taken place of this greatest rivalry tour. We're going to be here for every step of the way of this tour as a whole. And I can't believe it, but we're already halfway through this tour. In fact, once this game kicks off, we're more than halfway through this tour, which was much anticipated. I'm about to sneeze again. This is getting a little bit rough. 1 second. Right. Hopefully we're all right this time. Hate to see the All Blacks win. Or sorry, hate seeing the All Blacks win, but why am I about to put myself through this, says Neo. Yeah, see, this game, they aren't really given much of a chance, the Lions as a whole, which is not ideal, but at the same time, I feel like they might surprise a few people with how well they have played at times throughout the URC. Bad luck seeing them back for the World Cup. Yeah, hopefully. That's a tricky thing for Segner at the moment. It's all about trying to work out how to recover at the optimum time. You don't want to rush him back in because it does seem like that angle's semi-serious at the moment for him. And the All Blacks 50 points to 12. And you know what I mean, because because New Zealand hammered us. So yeah, it's called story. And we have they're predicting a good 30 minutes, and the All Blacks going to run the Joburg crowd to the ground. And that is something that we saw them do up against the Stormers as well. This New Zealand side, they started competitive, the Stormers, and then by the end of the matchup, the Kiwis kind of just controlled the match. They controlled the tempo, and they found a way to continuously score those points. And Richie, we trust up the ABs, says Mickey there. But yeah, the All Blacks will be really wanting to make a statement with certain players here, because at the end of the day, this is the last trial before heading into the test matches. This is your time to show Dave Rennie what you can do and get that little bit of maybe a bench or an impact role in the upcoming test match. Because if you don't perform here, you're probably not featuring for the rest of the tour, unless there's injuries. I hope they don't dash Segner's dreams. Says Scheme there, evening mate, says Flesh, and welcome in. Hope you are doing well. We have got there from Stephanie, bless you, sorry. I can't stay for the game, but hey all. Hopefully the Lions surprise us, says Stephanie. So yeah, hopefully we see it be a little bit more competitive than some people are anticipating. Hi Hamish, well done on the All Blacks win for all in New Zealand. Hope the Bok win in Cape Town. Cheers from Durban. Says Brian there. There we go, we'll get one sneeze out of the way while we're at it. We have there Richie definitely scoring at least one try. Says Tafik. All Blacks need to be brought back down to earth. Says Neo. Yeah, and I don't think the Lions are the team to do it. I would say, for the sake of this tour, 1-1 going into the third would be quite handy. Just in terms of the intenseness. I'm about to sneeze again. 1 second. We're getting there. We'll slowly work it out by the time we get to kick off, hopefully, just like Sky Sport. We are good, hopefully. This is the worst my hay fever's been in like 3 months, ladies and gentlemen. I think we made it through the whole last weekend without a single sneeze. And now we're sitting here semi-struggling. We have got there, well, the Kiwis take in refugee South Africans. What, in terms of the rugby or in terms of just in general? That seems like a very different topic. We have got there, need to get some meds, dude, for that hay fever. Well, I actually take medication for the hay fever. And it normally works, but I guess this slightly awkward equation is because this has been a midweek game, Like just yesterday I was working and we were dealing with a whole heap of pollen, unfortunately. But yeah, normally by the weekend it comes right because I wouldn't work a Saturday. So then because of that, I'm all right by Sunday. But this time, because it's a midweek game, luckily the last midweek game of the store, it just means that it's kicking me in the head really, really hard. We have got there, yeah, we put some them in the Mines and Chains. Says Sonny, listen. And also we have got there, as much as I want to respect this game, I'm chomping for the bit for Saturday. By the way, do they do the haka for this game today? If so, let us know how noisy the crowd is. Yep, they will be doing the haka just like they have for every other game up against the URC sides. Mate, your face is bright red. That's because I keep on sneezing, losing oxygen and all sorts. We have got there, what is your score prediction for this game? I went 34 points in favour of New Zealand. I don't think that's going to be a mile away. I'd love to see the Lions keep it a lot more competitive, though. And All Blacks down to earth, we're barely taken off. Says Jay there. South Africa don't win this Saturday, they won't win any. Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. Neutral ground against New Zealand, South Africa normally do very well. So I definitely wouldn't rule them out of the Baltimore test. But in terms of the third match at Loftus, I feel that's really a golden opportunity for South Africa to get the job done. But again, easier said than done. Heading to South Africa and winning one match out of the three is massive for New Zealand. But now it looks like they're destined to win maybe two or maybe even three if they continue playing the way they did. But then there were also moments in that game where they were definitely the second best team. We'll get to that in a very short moment. 1 second. We're good. The way some of the Box supporters have turned on Rassi after one game is pathetic, says how's it, my bro? It happened last year too. It happened after the South Africans were leading early against Australia, then went on to lose that game. Like, that's unfortunately what can happen when you win so often. You can get used to winning, and then as soon as you don't, you go into panic. And it's something we've seen from New Zealand as well in the past when they were in their absolutely dream run and then started losing games after that. That's when we saw a few people turn their backs on the All Blacks too. It just, unfortunately, like, happens a lot more with social media the way that it is now. When does this kick off? In half an hour? Yeah, so just under half an hour, about 27 minutes time until this one gets underway. We've got the, I can imagine you created a swimming pool off camera, says Neo, and also we've got the Australia loss when they sacked Rennie, says Anton. Yeah, and I think New Zealand are definitely happy with their signing of Dave Rennie so far. This team looks very rejuvenated. It seems like it's got a lot of team spirit out there, which I know you could argue doesn't win games, but it certainly is at the moment. They are undefeated under Rennie at this point in time. Good evening, says Kyle. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Mong and Barrett should be captain if Paddy comes off. Or Mong or Barrett, I should say, sorry, from Alba. And also we have got their Reeks will lead, says Scheme for the haka. We're putting a beating on these dudes. Richie has chosen violence, says Jay. And also here's a reminder for all the Kiwis on here, says Neo, with the World Cups there. And yeah, I have heard quite a bit throughout this week, definitely in regards to the world rankings. I have now been told that world rankings don't count compared to what they were last week, which is interesting. I've actually heard that multiple times from messages I've received. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next, how the South Africans adapt. Because we know that Rassi, normally with the way that he thinks, he's about 4 or 5 steps ahead of everyone else. And, you know, announcing the team early, it's what he did for the Wellington test, and it did work very nicely for the Kiwis in that department. Or sorry, for the South Africans in that department. But it is all about what happens next. Because like Rassi said in his press conference too, now they have to win the next 3 if they want to take on this tour and finish it as the victors. We have got the excited with Richie conducting the troops. I'm curious about Richie. I'm excited to see him back, but of course I want to know how he fits into Dave Rennie's plan. I know that Rennie's got a lot of praise for him. And even what time's kickoff? It is kicking off in 25 minutes time. Is anyone else having trouble casting on Sky Sport now or Sky in general? Yeah. Sky at the moment is really struggling to fire up, it would seem, here in New Zealand. I'm hoping it's going to kick it in the near future, as it was supposed to start the coverage about 20 minutes ago, and I'm still yet to see a rugby field. We have that just stream for free. Lions going to win this game. Says Hayno there with hi Hamish and chat. Welcome in, Hayno. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're excited for next week when you do get to go to that game at Loftus. And we have got there the statement scrum, says Dunk. And also, we have got there, the thing is, the Springboks took penalty kicks right at the beginning of the match, which doesn't seem brave. It's a smart move, though, if it's at the start of a game. The one that I disagree with in terms of the Springboks 3-point option was the one a little bit later in the contest in the second half when they opted for the 3. They were leading by 1. It took the lead out to 4, but for me, that just wasn't enough of a lead as a whole to be able to warrant the 3 rather than the 7. Right, I'm trying Sky Sport 4K Ultra HD Sky Sport 1 to see if that works, but it looks like it's still cycling. And there as well, we have got there, that's not Irish UK, for another 10 minutes, and I'm going to tune in and stand and see if there's any issues. And also, South Africa looking for that, says Neo. And also, we have got there Sky Action in Ireland in the UK for the option. And Pollard Ice Veins, absolutely dangerous. Absolutely. That man off a kicking tee is second to none in terms of World Rugby. And, like, I don't see a way he doesn't have a solid game, purely because of the fact that his spot is on the line here too. And if he plays well in this contest, he probably gets to start at least one of the other test matches. Seeing the Boks beat the All Blacks at the FNB Stadium will be lovely, says Hano, and it may be required, depending on what happens in test match number 2. Another one is Morby Disguise, says Dunk there. And what Sky's in 4K Ultra HD, says Jay there. Yeah, it's definitely not an Ultra HD through my eyesight. Normally, it's normally in about, I'd say, we'd be lucky if we get 1080p when I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's still the mountain here in New Zealand. It's just like a slow cinematic shot of a hill, and then it freezes, which I think is what Novman was dealing with about an hour ago, or not an hour, sorry, about probably 20 minutes. And I think Mo'unga and Ioane will heavily feature as reversed, more strategy or move strategy duo. Or sorry, as rehearsed move strategy duo. And FFS Sky says, Jasmine, yeah, hopefully they get it sorted sooner. At the end of the day, this test match, or this match of the Greatest Rivalry Tour, does kick off in around 23 minutes. So we are getting closer and closer to the start. Once again, I'm about to sneeze again. I'll go like this. Right, we are good again. Hopefully it's working on stand. They're interviewing the Lions captain, says Jay, and 20 minutes ago, says Neo. And also, all the best All Blacks for today, and kia ora, Hamish. I hope you recover soon, lad. Yeah, hay fever. It's been good, like, for the last month or so, but we were up on a roof, and I could just see all the pollen, and I was like, this isn't going to be good. Because it's normally not the day of the roofing or, like, the day of doing stuff out in the pollen. It's the next day that it hits me. And we have got there, bless you. And we have got there, the doctor is at the door. Says Mohadeen there, and Holland went Dutch. Says Dunk. Skybox or Whiskey Cabinet. Says Mark there. Sky Sport 1 working for me on a pirated site. No tie today. Not for this one. We've decided to go tieless in this match. What I have got now is my iPad, ladies and gents, and I'm going to see whether or not Sky's working on there. Because, yeah, at the moment, it seems to not want to work on PC. I'd assume some people are working with the tablet, though, too, watching their Sky. But something about it, it just doesn't quite want to kick in. Speaking of kicking in, 1 second, I've got to mute again, sorry. Right, we are back again. We have there, I'm the same way with hay fever terrible, says Melee. And yeah, it's normally all right when I can hide, but of course on a stream I don't have anywhere to really hide. So yeah, you will have to unfortunately deal with me muting a few times. It's better me doing that than just sneezing down the microphone every 5 seconds. There's like 10 people in the Lions stands, and Sky Sport's working in Auckland here. I got the pre-match show on. Are you through Sky Sport now, Si, or are you through satellite? Out of curiosity. It seems to be satellite at the moment is the issue for some people. Oh, no, sorry, the other one in terms of Sky Sport Now. But currently we've still got a cycling track here on Sky Sport Now for myself. But yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to let us know who you think will be winning this contest. The All Blacks come in as extremely heavy favourites. The Lions aren't really given much of a chance whatsoever. We'll be on for Saturday. Yes, we will be here for the Saturday live stream. That'll be the second test match up against the Springboks. Currently, New Zealand are leading the series 1-0. But that can all change in an instant. All it takes is one big game from the World Champ box, and we look at a very different scoreline going into match number 3. And we have got there, the semi-final and the final of the Currie Cup next week. I don't think so. It's not on the cards anyway. We'll wait and see what happens. I know this weekend we have got Australia versus Argentina. That is also happening. I can't even get it playing on my tablet, says Jasmine there. Yeah, see, I'm going to try it on a tablet now and see if that helps a little bit. And not sure, sorry, mate. Says Sai there. There's a bit of sneeze on the screen. Says Neo, and also we have got there, me too. Sorted out, Sky says balustrade. But you'd like to think if we're panicking about Sky not working, someone at Sky surely is panicking too and trying their best to fix it. We have got there, what time is kickoff? Kickoff has taken place in 19 minutes' time. So we are getting very close to the start of this contest. Do you think the Boks can pull off a win? Next week, though, I feel conditions will play into the All Blacks' hands, says Gutzia. Well, the thing is, New Zealand have got the momentum, right? Oh, we've got the cycling's kicked in again. But it's definitely not the race or the coverage that they want. Easy money for the All Blacks, says Short Lion. Maybe it's because the cycling race has actually gone longer than it was supposed to. Any guesses on how many dots are on a Hammies t-shirt? Y'all think the All Blacks cover the 37 points, says Ian? Tricky one to say. I think that they'll be close to winning by around that 30 mark, but I'm not sure if they quite... Well, depends on how they go early in this contest, because I believe the Lions will keep competitive for a bit of time, but then from there the All Blacks should be able to run away with it. So it's just whether or not the Lions can keep that momentum going after having a good start. I laughed. The Lions win. And if we win game 2, there will be riots in South Africa, says Jay. Well, I think there'd certainly be a lot of angry people because, test match number 1, some were saying that Rassi maybe didn't quite get the selection right. The thing is, though, if New Zealand didn't get that big scrum penalty, I think we could have been looking at a very different scoreline by the end of the game. It was that one momentum shifter, as well as South Africa deciding to take the 3 points rather than going to the corner and putting on that extra bit of pressure. But yeah, as a whole, I think Test Match 2 finishes a lot closer than Test Match number 1. Is Scott Barrett still out with injury? When is he going to be back? Maybe November. He's still dealing with that back injury. He's doing his recovery, trying to get back to 100%, but he might still be out for quite a bit more time than November. And Larko Morby combined again, says Dunk there. And also we've got there All Black 77 to the Kittens 0, says Sonny Listen. And also, which one? I feel like I missed a couple early. Sky is going to have a lot of pissed off people, probably. If they haven't got the All Blacks test on, when people are paying quite a large chunk to be able to watch Sky, yeah, I hope they get it fixed. Even people missing the coverage of the build-up, I'm sure that Sky are already getting a lot of messages telling them to get it sorted. We have there Scott Barrett ain't coming back. No, he will be eventually. He hasn't retired as of yet. He hasn't announced the retirement. 1 second. I got to sneeze one more time, and then we're hopefully going to have it as the last one before this match gets underway. We are back again. If you don't get in, you can use my login thing of DSTV. Says Hano, so that would be, greatly appreciated, because at the moment we are still looking at the same hill here in New Zealand. Could be a tri-fest. I think it's guaranteed to be one. I don't see a way that this game stays low scoring. I think that everyone's going to go out absolutely firing, the Lions included. We're going to smash these guys easy, 52 points to 12, says Charles there. And it's Rico's fault, says Gary. Not sure about South Africa versus New Zealand, but New Zealand are capable of beating South Africa twice in a row. Wasn't so long ago that was the norm, says Kiwi Graggle. And what if the Boks lost? What if Barrett got the kick in the final? What if Khaleesi got a red card too? A lot of what ifs, says South Africa in there as well. Yeah, I think that just shows, though, the amount of change that can happen in a game of rugby. People go into a match 100% certain that something's going to happen. But, rugby's unpredictable. Even a little moment like a knock-on can completely change the other 79 minutes of a contest. Sky Sport replay 1 NRL try for the 20th time in a row. Yes, Sky's not working very well here in New Zealand at the moment either, by the looks of it. 1 second, we'll go like that. We'll go like that as well. If Richie is a strong showing, would you play him on Saturday? And if so, would you start him? Have Love off the bench, covering the first 10, 15, and potentially wing as well. I would have Love starting at 10, and I'd have Mo'unga off of the bench. I feel like Rennie is also of that same mindset that they don't want to chuck Mo'unga straight back in at the cost of their other young 10s that they are starting to develop. Although saying that, look at what they've done this game. They've got Richie Mo'unga as the 10 rather than Josh Jacob. And that department with Josh Jacob making his way off the bench. So, yeah, I see a way that maybe Mo'unga starts 1 out of the last 3 tests, but I don't see him starting more than that unless there is a Love injury. Do you think Scott Barrett will be called at any point once he recovers, or is his time up? It depends on what Rennie thinks. I know that Scott Robertson was of high praise of Scott Barrett, but at the moment, Rennie has got a lot of young players who are coming up through the rankings. You look at a Fabian Holland, you look at Josh Lord, Sam Derry. It's probably Barrett and Tui Pelotu both fighting for that same veteran spot. And the likes of the way a game shifts after one moment is pretty crazy, says Neo. But that's also the beauty of rugby, isn't it? It can happen so fast and change so rapidly. 1 second. We are going to trial something, ladies and gentlemen. It's either going to work or it isn't. How long is offer out? Says Gotsia. At the moment, it sounds like just like a sickness, so he'll be out for maybe half a week. I'd say he'd actually be ready for the weekend if needed. Right, I'm going to click on a South African VPN, ladies and gents, to set myself to South Africa. So you either still out. Is it coming back? It's back. Now we're in South Africa. That was a short flight, but we're hopefully going to be able to load up DSTV now. Let's be honest. We had an amazing team. Mo'unga could unlock God mode. Says Jay there. And after the latest win against the Springboks, what concerns would you have for the New Zealanders? I would be most concerned if you're New Zealand about how South Africa are going to bounce back, because they will be fired up. You know, there will be no denying how dangerous the South African side will be over the weekend. How's it, Hamish? Let's go the All Blacks. And we have got there, that's a big Pac-Man, says Charles. Yeah, they got some big size about them in terms of this forward back. I thought my Wi-Fi bugged out, but he switched VPNs. Says Crocker there, and even in the Six Nation teams get humbled all the time. 1 second, we're going to go with this one. We're going to go to sport. This is either going to work or it isn't. Springboks versus All Blacks greatest rivalry. How do I go to live? Oh, live TV. See, I hardly use DSTV. So sport. There is a rugby greatest rivalry build-up. You'd assume that that one's it. And good day, Hamish. I'm back. Welcome back, Xavier. I hope you are doing very well. I do, of course, anyone who's in New Zealand, let me know when Sky does kick in. And we will go back to that just so that it's a little bit clearer for myself. But DSTV is currently loading, so hopefully that will work out. And we have the only reason why I would start Richie. And, oh, hang on, that's very loud. There we go. The only reason I would start Richie and Love off the bench is that Love can cover wing, fullback, and 10, whereas Richie is not as versatile. True, I think that versatility will be important, although it also depends on who else they go with. And that backline, channel 211. So I think that's the one I'm on at the moment, maybe. But I'll probably have to reshuffle a bit later on. One moment. Right, we're good. Again, they're 19%. They voted for the Lions. Yeah, I think 19% is quite generous for this team, but you just never know. Maybe they have the best showing out of any of the South African URC franchises and come out there and do something big. It would be a massive achievement if they are able to, or at least stay competitive with this All Black side. Got a text from Sky 5 AM start. And also we have got there, how many called a draw, says cool story. And also we have got there some of these fringe ABs players should assert dominance over these guys now. They can mentally have that going forward. And some of these ABs are miles ahead. Always have the edge, says Young Rich Famous. And yeah, like I said, you don't get any more opportunities if you're a fringe All Black now. This is your game. This last opportunity to get into that starting lineup, all the reserves, for the upcoming test matches. I think that for the locks, Sam Derry or Patrick Tuipulotu, whoever plays better in the first half more than likely plays in the upcoming test match, although there is also a chance they just straight away go with the Patrick Tuipulotu option. And why you keep cutting out, says Daniel, why am I hiding off to the side? It's just because I keep on sneezing. So not ideal, but currently the All Blacks making their way down the tunnel here. We have got there, I think it's going to be a huge blow. I'll blow out to the All Blacks. And have a good call, my bro, it's party time. Says Jay in there too, and the teams are heading out, they certainly are. Richie Mo'unga for the first time in ages. That man will make his way onto the field for the All Blacks. Patrick Tuipulotu does get to captain this side in this match up against the Lions. It's going to be a massive, massive occasion here between the two teams. 1 second, we're going to go like that. We're going to go like that as well. We have got there, who are you hoping to win on Saturday? Oh, see, the crazy thing is, right, I actually kind of want... No, actually, I'm not going to finish that sentence. But I'm hoping it's a good game. And we have got there, also, I wish the All Blacks kept Razor. Yeah, although I think at the moment the All Blacks are in a very good position currently. They are finding a way of, just getting this going under Dave Rennie. This has been a really great winning streak for New Zealand over the last little while. They are yet to lose a game under Dave Rennie too, which is something that you don't often get to see. But they are just showing Frankie Horn. He is the captain of this Lions side. It's going to be an awesome match. Go the All Blacks. Lawson has returned at 10. Says Richie with the same name. And there as well. But the Lions mascot, he is a lion and he is absolutely jacked. They've even got muscles on the mascot. It's something that I kind of am jealous of. The fact that they have still got mascots and whatnot for the URC sides. We have got their Sky Sports still not loading. So yeah, I've got it on DSTV at the moment. And hopefully that is going to be significant or at least sufficient for the early stages of the game. But the New Zealanders lining up for the national anthem here. And then from there, we all have the Lions singing the South African national anthem, a haka for New Zealand, and they're ready to go for the kickoff of this match. We have got their box. We have to improve all round next game, whether we can pull out a winner out of it. I don't know, says Sighted Canvas. And yeah, it is crazy how quickly one game has changed people's, confidence in the Springboks team. At the end of the day, the way that I look at it is if they were a little bit more clinical with ball in hand, I think the scoreline could have looked very different. But again, that's a whole heap of ifs, buts, and maybes. They are currently singing the New Zealand national anthem with Patrick Tuipulotu, the captain. We're hoping to see his side get 4 wins from 4 up against these URC franchises. This Lions team, they are definitely not an easy beat in the URC. Looking through at the starting lineup, it is SJ Kutsia, PJ Botia, and Sebastian Lombard as the number 3. Atini Oosterhuizen alongside Ruan Delporte. Anyone who hasn't seen Oosterhuizen, you will certainly see him when this match starts. He is an absolute unit of an individual at 4. In the loose ball trio, Mahashi, Klakane, and also Horn. Klakane is one of those young players that have a huge, bright future for the under-20s. And then from there, of course, the Frankie Horn captaincy from that number 8 jersey. Nico staying alongside Chris Smith in the 9 and 10 combination. Eric Cronje out on the left wing. Richard Kriel and Henko van Wyk make up the midfield with Killian Peku out on the right wing and Kieran Horn as that number 15. He's had opportunities in the Springboks environment, but not too many as of yet. And we have got, has Dave Rennie exceeded your expectations? I'd say yes. I don't think many people were expecting him to go to South Africa and win the first test. I don't think many people were expecting him to win 3 from 3 in the July internationals, but somehow it's happened. And this All Black side, they are looking stronger than they have for quite some time. Now, that type of statement will probably jinx them, so hopefully that isn't the case. 1 second, on one more sneeze before the kickoff. Right, we're good. We have got their Sky Sports selling. Says short line. Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not it's working here in New Zealand as of yet. I am watching on DSTV, which has been quite handy. As a bit of a backup, we have got their handling was atrocious in the second half, and the team was not firing on all cylinders. The yellow cards didn't help. All those things combined to make it the worst performance so far in the second half, says Cited. And All Blacks, like other touring teams, only improve as the tour goes on. And that is the benefit of those warm-up games. Being able to go from match to match and slowly find your combinations, which is actually the perfect thing for Dave Rennie in that scenario, because without those combinations being found, we wouldn't have known anything about the younger players getting the chances and stepping up. You look at Morby, for instance. Had Morby not been given game time throughout July, we wouldn't have seen the type of performances we've seen so far. We have got there. Have you managed to turn this into a full-time job, mate? No, I was working my full-time job yesterday, and unfortunately that's why I got really bad hay fever. We were up on a roof and there was pollen everywhere. So I'm just trying my best not to sneeze my head off, which hasn't been working well. As you guys know, I've had to mute about 25 times to be able to sneeze here. But the South African national anthem, there are still quite a few in the stands enjoying this matchup here between the sides. I like the Lions it's almost like the American football style jackets or the vests that they have got here. Rico first try, says Patrick there too. I'll mention anyone who is new to the channel. Of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is so greatly appreciated you all being here for this contest, and there is still plenty more to come in the near future, including those 3 test matches between the two teams. We have got there Sky Sport now not showing the game. They are hopefully very soon, but they haven't been able to get the coverage to kick in yet. I am watching on DSTV with a VPN. What are you watching on? Sky Sport 1 is showing the cycling. So yeah, they've still got the cycling and it's glitching by the sounds of it. So I've got a VPN so that I'm set to South Africa, and that seems to be working for me at the moment. But hopefully the Sky Sport coverage does get there in the very near future. 1 second, I'm going to sneeze one more time, hopefully. Hopefully we're good. We have got their shambles, mate, says Dunk. We have got there, what are you watching on Sky Sport 1? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Sky at the moment. I managed to stop myself from sneezing there. It was quite good. I also think I didn't mute, so apologies for that, ladies and gents. That is why I normally mute. But we're ready to go for the haka here before the match gets underway. Do let me know who you think will be the first try scorer of this matchup. Could it be that man leading the haka here, Rico Ioane? Maybe Richie Moonga back into this All Blacks setup. Are you paying for DSTV and Sky Sports subscription? Luckily, I do know someone in South Africa, which is Haino, and he has generously let me use his DSTV to be able to watch this game. We have got there Rico leading the haka. Says Nutter Boy there too. A sniff of the cocoa, says George. And also we have got there what's your full-time job. It is a builder slash labourer. And Fihi says Kiwi Graggle. The haka has been done. The All Blacks are fired up for this contest. Again, the midweek fixture between the ABs and the Lions. This is the last matchup against a URC franchise team. We see the big man there, Klakane, is from the number 7 jersey. He's a tank, is the best way to describe him. He is absolutely massive and could be absolutely massive for this side here too. And we have got there Jeff and Justin. Is here in South Africa, says Paul Floors. And the All Blacks going to run riot, says Jeff J. And there in Samisi just scored twice, says Paul Latu. But Rico Ioane, he is really finding a new vein of form. Just in the relatively recent future as well. Or in the recent past, I should say. Good evening, Hamish, says Rishi, welcome in. I hope you're as excited for this match as a lot of other people are. The Lions, Etene Oosterhuizen looking on. There seems like there's a little bit of extra determination from this Lions team heading into this contest. They know that this is one of those matches that they kind of have to carry in terms of the South African teams, because we haven't seen a huge amount of competitiveness outside of the Stormers. Although, to be fair, second half for the Bulls wasn't a mile away. Appreciate you and your efforts. Thanks, mate, says Delmino. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. They are just showing the other 4 matches that we've seen so far of this greatest rivalry tour. We will do the same. As you can see there, New Zealand, they are sitting 4 wins from 4, 38 points to 21, 54-0, 50 points to 19, and the most recent was the test match, and the All Blacks winning at 33 points to the 16. There are still plenty more matches to take place in the near future. The Cape Town test this weekend. Then from there, Johannesburg. Oh no, that's actually wrong. It is supposed to be Loftus for the 3rd test. And then Baltimore for the final one. 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. We have got there watching in 4 ways. Pity the stadium is not full. And I wish Sky Sports would get their act together. It's frustrating. Yeah, there'll be a lot of Kiwis who woke up early for this game and are dealing with a huge amount of Sky subscription issues. They have got a 5-second countdown here. We are about to be underway for this contest, ladies and gents. And the greatest rivalry tour continues. The Lions kicking off from left to right. And we are underway again for another matchup nicely taken by Sam Derry, who was lifted into the air just outside of New Zealand's 22. Noah Hotham getting his first opportunity in an All Blacks kit for 2026. Was playing for Tasman in the NPC. Now needs to step up here to show what he can do with the injury of Cortez Ratama, passing it away to the right-hand side. Basilio Tosi moves it on to Moonga. Out to now Rico Ioane, stepping around one challenge. And through the first tackle, dragged down in the second. Now away to Wallace Satiti. Some starting minutes for that man. In fact, this loose forward trio haven't had a huge amount of starts between them throughout this greatest rivalry tour. Big collision on Derry by Mahashi. Lions almost managing to get that steal in the breakdown. Now Satiti takes contact again, making a couple post-contact meters. Now away to the right. Blackadder delays his pass. Runs it straight at Ruan Del Port. And we have the idea the All Blacks going to run right. And what is happening with Sky? I have no idea. It wasn't loading for me. It had the cycling, so we have got it through DSTV. Now that one's going to be kicked downfield, and it's gone straight out on the full. Mistake made there by Noah Hotham. Now, unfortunately for that young man, one thing that he was criticised about throughout the Crusaders Super Rugby Pacific season was his box kicking. They felt like he wasn't quite getting it right. Loftus is actually our fortress, says George. And poor kick Hotham says, "Nutter boy." And there too, an evening, Hamish. Appreciate the commentary, says Tommy T. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Line out here for the for the Lions. PJ Borta gets it right, claimed by Del Port. As they start to march forward, the physicality of these South African fullbacks is something that is really prided upon. Now Nico Stain looked left for a second, but there weren't too many options out there. Move into the right, Kieran Horn, waiting for this ball, receives the pass from Chris Smith. Now pinning the ears back, dragged down by Fehefini Anofo. About 30 metres out from the New Zealand line, but some early possession here for the Lions. Low tackle made by Ethan Blackadder. Chris Smith with a skip pass. Richard Creel with the even wider cutout out to the captain, Frankie Horn. He'll go for a chip in behind, a bit of a unique tactic from the skipper, and it almost worked. Bowden Barrett has to boot it into touch. They're only 5 metres from the line. But after the last rolling maul that we saw from this Lions team, New Zealand could be in a little bit of trouble here in terms of the part of the field. And Moonga are going to have a treat, says Jeff J there. And also come on the line, says Johan. And nice start for the Lions, says Nutter Boy there too. Yeah, quick fire start, similar to what we actually saw from a couple of the other South African sides who came out firing. But it's whether or not they take this opportunity. Again, 3 metres out from New Zealand's line, or 5 metres, sorry. Sky Sports sucks, says Jack. Yeah, they're having all sorts of technical difficulties for this matchup. Now rolling maul of the Lions. This is getting close. It's going to be 2 metres short as it does get dragged down. No penalty advantage given in favour of the Lions as of yet. Nico Stain looking away to his right-hand side. Sebastian Lombard was waiting for that ball. We used to see Klaba Kanye from that number 3 jersey, but that man no longer with the Lions, or at least no longer playing rugby currently with that suspension. Nico Stain looking away to the right, finds the hands of Atini Oosterhuizen. It's a huge individual in the locks, but a huge steal there for Ethan Blackadder and New Zealand, but just having the knock on in the final moment as he hit the ground. We have got there at 7 p.m. Says Guppy there, and also the only upset where the Kittens playing. Says Zunny there, and also Sky Sport is playing Cycling Bro. What is going on, says Kahu? Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what Sky Sport New Zealand are doing. The thing is as well, surely someone's up and keeping an eye on it, making sure there's no technical difficulties, right? But yeah, they've got the cycling, and it goes a little bit, and then it freezes, doesn't it? And then there was also just the cycling full on the 4K channel. From what I saw, a little bit of an injury here to the cheekbone. By the looks of it, of Atini Ustays. In fact, it's a little bit higher. It's actually just on the outside of that eye. It's already turning purple for that man. He's going like that. That's never a good sign for a player. You've asked whether or not he's okay. He doesn't look all right. Looking for you very much so. Thank you very much, Hano. Greatly appreciated. Mine is fine. Says Rian there. And they sleep, and says Christopher. Rugby Pass also down. What's going on with Sky? Yeah, they are having quite a few delays and a few difficulties. And they're currently, the Lions have got themselves a scrum 5 metres out from New Zealand's line. And this is where we're going to get to first see the opportunity at international level for Siale Lawaki from that left-hand side of the scrum with a loose head roll rather than the tight head roll that we have seen him play in his earlier match. My Sky stuck on the cycling, says Tyler Scott. Yeah, they're really struggling. Like, by now, you'd assume that they would have put up an extra pop-up. You don't get the Sky issues when you choose to listen to the Man Kiwi Lads. Although, to be fair, I had the Sky issues earlier. I've just had to set myself to South Africa to be able to do it. And we have got the New Zealand penalty incoming from the scrum. It's the prediction there from Gutsia. And look at the All Blacks are playing good, but I really hope the Lions win. Says Piet. Rugby passes down to the US too. So it's just everywhere's down for this game except for South Africa by the sounds of it. And Narawa to score the first try. But Nico Stain about to put the ball in here for the Lions. That's well set. They have got a decent sized forward pack, although not moving here at scrum time with a big push from the Waki. Now short ball to Richard Creel. Gets within a couple of metres. Can the Lions strike first in front of the home ground? They're over the line there between the posts. And that is going to be Nico Stain who pops up with the try. The Lions on the board early up against this Kiwi side. But that is quite the start for this Lions team. It is Nico Stain, the young halfback. We're going to add him onto the try scorers. And this is only 5 minutes in too. But a nice set piece after the All Blacks. That was a beautiful kick in behind. But not a funky horn out of all players. We have got there. He needs to get off the, that's eye socket. So he's dunked there. RIP first try scorer, says Short Lion. Hamish just joined what's happening. So we've just seen the try score by the Lions. And they are leading in this contest 5-0. More than likely turning it into 7-0. This kicker, Chris Smith, normally extremely accurate off his kicking tee. And in this scenario, straight out in front, adds the additional 2. And the Lions leading early. 7 points to 0, like I predicted, the Lions will score first. And they fixed it on Sky. Not yet by the sounds of it. Still quite a few issues for Sky Sport. I am watching on DSTV, I should mention, which is why I'm able to watch it currently. And how have the All Blacks been playing? Says Josiah, well, they haven't had a lot of the ball. It looked like a good backline, though, earlier on when they did have it. Can you give my mate Dan a shout-out? Paul Bugger is in Swindon Hospital, UK for a few days. Kiwi's a long way from home. So, yeah, shout-out to Dan. Hopefully you do feel better very soon. And, yeah, hopefully, to be fair, if they're showing the rugby in the UK, it will be more coverage than most people are getting in New Zealand at the moment too. But, yeah, hopefully speedy recovery for you, mate. One's gone into touch, though, off the kick of the Lions. It is about maybe 40 metres from New Zealand's line. How's Moonga gone? He's done like 2 good passes. That's on World Rugby as well, says I am nutty. And what's up with our defence, says Christopher. Although it isn't the first game that New Zealand have conceded an early try. They did it in quite a few of the Nations Championship. Oh, poor pass from Noah Hotham. Mahashi's running away, and the Lions get the double in 7 minutes. Okay. They've come to play, ladies and gents, and anyone who underestimated whether or not this Lions side would be fired up for this game, it was really telegraphed from Noah Hotham. He pretty much made it extremely obvious that he was passing to the first man, and from there, Mahashi, lightning quick, getting up there early, and the Lions lightning quick on the scoreboard. At the moment, they are flying forward in this contest. Ow, that was a hard landing for Mahashi there too, to be fair, but Hotham, tell you what, that was not a good pass. Was he onside? I think he's quick, Mahashi, and I think he's got that pretty much perfectly timed. And what happens is Josiah, so the All Blacks had a rolling maul that he then, Hotham took the ball out the back, looked to the side, went, and then went straight to Mahashi. And what a start, says Gridgy Cook. And that's why Hotham is not on the squad. Says Xavier there, let's go, says Haino. But that is another conversion for Chris Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 14-0 for the Lions. In the early stages of this match, we're 8 minutes in. They are rolling the home side here. But that was not a good pass. No, we're on the next flight home. Says Rose and Silver. But yeah, Mahashi, great vision to be able to spot the opportunity to steal that ball now into the Lions 22. Uh-oh. You know how I mentioned earlier on about how one knock-on can completely change the momentum of a game? We've just seen it there. Knock-on from Klikane inside of his 22. He deserves a lifelong contract. Says Haino there, and also we've got there, this definitely wasn't in the script. Rugby confuses me sometimes, says George there, and a YouTube World Rugby page. showing the live game. And g'day, Hamish says, Darren, 1 second, I'm about to sneeze, so we will quickly mute, but the All Blacks have got themselves the scrum coming up in the near future. Right, we are good. Sky Sports still not working. And who does Hotham play for? So he plays for the Crusaders and he also plays for Tasman in the NPC. So he was flown over because of the Cortez Ratima injury. And yeah, not quite ideal at the moment, you would have to say. The ball about to be fed into the scrum for New Zealand. They are 20 metres out from the line. And like I said, momentum can definitely change things in a game of rugby, and this is where New Zealand have to make the most of theirs. Timothy Tavanawai pops it on to Rieko Ioane. Salad a dummy from Richie Moong. He's knocked the ball on, or no, in fact, it's ruled as backwards. Fehefini Anofo has to get back in cover. He is very good at beating defenders in tight spaces. Hasn't been able to do it there. Now back to the right-hand side. What's happening, Kiwis? Says Yazri there. Yeah, a couple of early mistakes from the Kiwis, although big run. Offload there from Samasoni Tolkiaho. What's the score? Why is the score 14-0? Is this a friendly? It is certainly not a friendly. The Lions have had a much better start to this contest, and they've managed to break the line. Now New Zealand and Moni Narawa beating 3 defenders. Ball on the inside to Noah Hotham, who then scores the try for New Zealand. And now on the board here. This is going to be a massively high-scoring game if both of these sides continue in the way that we're going. 10 minutes, 3 tries. Well, welcome to the Greatest Rivalry Tour. We have got there, as I said before on Sky, not to this extent. Like, they've had little technical difficulties. I don't think they've had a time where a whole game hasn't been working. So there's still time for that record to be set. Sky Sports are showing cycling and stuck. Yeah, they're having a lot of technical difficulties, Sky. Currently, New Zealand are down 14 points to 7. We have there Kronya putting in a shift. Says Yanko there. And it's like a Barbarians game, says Albert. Anyone got Sky now? When I click on the rugby, I keep getting the cycling. Yeah, it's the same for a lot of people in New Zealand. I'm watching on DSTV in South Africa with a VPN, so that's how it's working for myself. And Noah Hotham scoring the important try for New Zealand to just try and take some of that momentum back. And again, that all came from the knock-on of Klekane. Without that knock-on, we probably still look at 14-0 between these two sides. But Kewan Horn kicks this one off high. Nicely taken by Timothy Tavanawai. Hotham with a bit of a rough pass to Samisi Tupo Taialoa, putting him under all sorts of pressure, the big number 8. Are you underestimate, you pay the price? Says Satyawan there. Let's go love the back and forth, makes a good listen. Says Anthony there. Yeah, it's certainly been an entertaining first 11 minutes of this contest. There is no denying that. And also, I like the competitiveness, says the AO6. Now this one's kicked downfield from Noah Hotham towards the sideline. Does just go out about 40 metres from New Zealand's line. The score is close by the 60th. The Lions will pull away and win guaranteed, says Albert. And Sky Sport 1 is down, says Nazy Jones. Yeah, it isn't working for a lot of people in New Zealand. Unfortunately, just got Sky useless. Yeah, they're going to have to do some big things, I would have to think. We're talking like giving away a month free to the ones who missed out on being able to watch this game and all sorts, because yeah, to miss an All Blacks test is not good. Rare instance of something working in South Africa, but not New Zealand, says Yanko. Yeah, I'm very thankful for DSTV. That's a good steal in the breakdown from Timothy Tavanawai. He is normally doing it all season for the Highlanders. Now getting the chance to do it in the black jersey. Nice step on the inside from Fehefini Anofo. And it just get through a couple tackles. And a penalty there. Clean out past the ball from Sam Derry. And the Lions, this will be about, I'd say 47 metres out from the All Blacks line. And we have got there the All Blacks, there's Denrick. And also the All Blacks heating up. And there as well. Okay. I get this choice, but I don't like it one bit. The Lions are taking the 3 points. Don't get me wrong. Chris Smith normally nails kicks from anywhere on the field. So it's no trouble in terms of whether or not this kick is going over. That's probably going to be a commentator's curse. But in this scenario, you can't afford to take your foot off the pedal up against a side like New Zealand, who have put 50 points on a few of the other South African URC sides. Come on the Lions. And also, there's a New Zealand thing cleaning out the player, not even part of the ruck. So here's Albert with the kick from Chris Smith. He's missed. He has missed it, Chris Smith, after I just praised him saying he never misses. He's just done it. And now Timothy Tavanawai moves up to the All Blacks 22. Someone forgot to flip the switch for rugby pass in the UK. So here's South Africa there. South Effie, I should say. Yeah, there's a lot of technical difficulties. I would say what's happened is Rugby Pass TV probably used Sky Sport coverage. Big run here from Rico Ioane up to the halfway line and then dragged down by Kewan Horn. Now Hotha moves it left. Ooh, another almost hospital pass from New Zealand. Good collision and good way of staying on his feet there for Samisi Tupo Taialoa. Loose ball dropped by Moonga again. Second handling error from the number 10 in this contest. An advantage for offside against the Lions. Simasoni Taukiaho moves it up to the halfway line. Already 15 minutes through in this contest. We're about to find out how much that decision to take 3 from the Lions could have been the mistake. Patrick Tuipulotu had the man on his shoulder. Doesn't use Satiti in the end. Hotham gets there quickly. Bowden Barrett sells the dummy. Moves into the half. They'll go back for the initial penalty. Lions look offside, says Nataboy, and that is what they have just been penalised for. And good job, Rico, says Josiah, with the run there. But yeah, I would say Rugby Pass in the USA use Sky Sports coverage. And because Sky Sports not working, of course, they can't show it yet. Sky Sport is not working. Yeah, they're having a lot of technical difficulties at the moment. And Manstream is popping off while Sky Sport is still down, says Ben Morgan. And hey, Hamish, how are you, says Jeffrey, doing very well. Hope you are doing well too. That one is kicked towards the touchline from Mwanga. He's cooked it dead. Or kicked it dead, I should say. So they will go right back, but that's now the third error for Richie Moonga since making his way into this All Black side. And Moonga sucks. He's just got a big name and is a star. This isn't the Ian Foster era no more. Ruben Love is the permanent 10. Moonga needs to prove himself. So here's Josiah. We have got the Rugby Pass VIP Sport. All not working and good for your page, bud. Says Peter the Park. Yeah, I guess I should say anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are here for all of the matches of the Greatest Rivalry Tour. So if you do need coverage, we are going to be here covering it all throughout the days. We've also got the Nations Championship, watching it as well. We have got there, what service are you watching the game on? I'm watching on DSTV with a South African VPN. So that was the only way to be able to watch this game, or else we were going to be struggling big time. Same along the sucks has been harsh though. Says Gutsy, yeah, I'd say he's just rusty in terms of his time in the All Blacks 10 jersey. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze. Yeah, good. And Richie Moonga just played himself out of the All Blacks team, although it's a bit early, I think. Oh, free kick goes the way of the Lions after a bit of an early push from New Zealand. Kewan Horn looking for the 50-22. Gets a decent kick on it as well. It just bounces back infield where Bowden Barrett was waiting for it. How much was that service? Well, luckily I'm using Haino's DSTV. Buying it with just the service alone is about 100 and something New Zealand dollars a month. Just when you asked, what is your DSTV login? Cheer from Norway. Says Russell there. Rustiness is no excuse for missing touch. I want my $6 back. Says intake there, but Semasoni Taukiaho. Now with the line out throw here for New Zealand. About 42 metres out. And now Hotham going away to the left-hand side to Satiti. He's waiting for the ball in the middle of the field. Supported by Blackadder. On his side, quick hands from Taukiaho there. Now moving it on to Amoni Narawa. I have to say, some of the wingers are doing some really nice tackles at the moment for the Lions. They aren't allowing them to fly down the wing with the likes of Fihi as well as Amoni. Now away to the right-hand side, Sam Derry, middle of the park. That was a clean out of Frankie Horn. Timothy Tavanawai. Be over 70 defenders in Super Rugby Pacific. And I don't think that's his highest record either for a Super Rugby season. Hotham away to the left-hand side again, moves it on to Moonga. Now Bowden Barrett, the Fihi fitting on offload. Ball on the inside to Narawa, who shows a turn of pace. Offload there again to Taukiao, who just couldn't quite free up the arms till the last moment. Bowden Barrett 3 metres short as he's dragged down by the Lions. Narawa may have knocked that ball on. They might have also been in touch there, New Zealand. The Lions may have just survived. And thank goodness for the Kiwi lads while coverage is out. Yeah, it's really poor that they haven't been able to fix it as of yet. Definitely with the fact that, like, DSTV's working. So obviously the cameras at the ground are there. Because this is the same coverage as we get in New Zealand in terms of the same... Oh, no, actually, sorry. This would be a different commentary than we get in New Zealand. I forgot about the fact that normally we have other Sky Sport ones. But surely just for now they could have got the DSTV coverage or something like that to be able to sort it out. And got D Lions. Bowden Barrett with one outside him, doesn't pass, there's another boy. Yeah, he did have the man on his left there, Bowden, deciding against using him. But it was a nice ball on the inside from Behefria Norfo initially. And then we're going to see it here. Although, to be fair, I think he did have to cut in Bowden in that scenario. I think that Behefria Norfo may have gotten driven towards the sideline. There wasn't a lot of room for him to be able to use down that short side. And look at there, you go Lions. And I just want to smash Sky Sports right now. Yeah, to have 19 minutes missing from this game already for Sky Sports is like, this would have to be one of the worst cuts that they've had in a long time. Atene Ustays, and he will make his way from the field here. He hasn't looked 100% since taking that knock to the side of the eye. And Bowden Barrett and Richie Moonga, second test for sure. And we have got there, AB's going to run right. Okay, it's still in the early stages. And who's watching from Sky Sport New Zealand, we got a boycott. Says Ruben, yeah, I don't think it's working for a lot of people. Satellite hopefully is working. In fact, I know a lot of people are trying to watch on Sky Sport now or Sky Go. Is anyone's satellite Sky working? Evening Hamish, stadium food in New Zealand reasonably priced. Depends on what you get. From the Christchurch new stadium, you can get a hot dog for $10, which is brutal, but like you can get a chicken and chips for like $15, which isn't too bad. Lions 5 metres out from their line with the scrum feed here with Nico Stain, the try scorer from earlier in the contest. Now going left-hand side. Moving it into the middle to Richard Creel, trying to get on the ball. This time was Noah Hotham. Now back into the pocket, Chris Smith. Going to send it downfield, but the Lions are still leading by the 7 points just for now. I know Sky Sport Now isn't working either. So here's one to wave. And not working Sky Sport Now. And I didn't pay satellite. Sky says intake there. And there's dodgy air in Wales all day, to be honest, says Kiwi Graggle. Now, New Zealand trying to take that one quickly. Angus Gardner will call it back. Okay, Samasoni Tokiaho with the ball back in his hand. Never thought I'd highly dislike cycling so much, says Aidan Watson. Yeah, it's the worst thing about it is the cycling's just frozen, isn't it? Rather than like the actual race taking place. Rico Ioane and Bowden Barrett on his shoulder. Big knock on from Barrett. Now picked up. Chris Smith tackled by Ioane. Now left-hand side again. Stain moves it on. Mahashe gives it away to Kronya. It's actually been a bit of a standout for the Lions at times throughout last URC campaign. PJ Bota, big shot on him by Tokiaho. Two hookers going head-to-head. Chris Smith back in the pocket again, will decide to go high with this ball. Timothy Tavanawai moves it across to Bowden Barrett. Now again to the left. Ethan Blackadder, straightening run from him and makes a few metres. He's landed on his head though after the tackle. Now Timothy Tavanawai, he goes through one. An advantage now for New Zealand. Blackadder, another carry. Tell you what, that man's got a bit of a spring in his step at the moment, Blackadder. He's trying to prove that he should be in that Test 23. Tokiaho skip past Satiti, quick hands, out to Amoni Narawa. He'll go for the chip in behind. If this ball bounces nicely for him, he could have been in, but it does bounce to Smith. I'll go back for the penalty advantage. And we have got their first Sky Sport not showing the game. And then the All Blacks keep knocking the ball on, says Jasmine. Well, to be fair, that's the only slightly good thing about it not working in New Zealand is everyone's missing all these knock-ons from Bowden Barrett and Richie Moonga. Outside of that, like, yeah, penalties conceded. It's pretty low from New Zealand at this stage. Only the one penalty against them. 2 penalties against the Lions with Richie Moonga now kicking this one into touch. And by the end of the night, we all know what line to take while cycling down that hill. It's like, I know it's happened for the URC before. Back in the old school days, I remember there was one game where they kept on showing tennis throughout the whole match, and that was annoying. But like cycling rather than an All Blacks test, like I don't know who's up watching the cycling. There's probably a few people who get up and watch it, but there's definitely a lot more trying to watch the ABs here, and it's a mistake made by the Lions again. I think they're being pinged for offside once more. Sam Derry takes the quick tap, gives it off to Tui Palotu. New Zealand. It's very easy to forget penalty to the Lions in the breakdown. Nico Stain thought about going quickly, but yeah, very easy to forget that they're still down by 7 in this scenario. We have there. We are streaming, but my son is going to contract taking people home, and this makes cyclists worth 200 points while driving. By the way, says Ruben. Even Sky is conspiring against the All Blacks. Okay, Angus Gardner just pretty much saying why the Lions are getting pinged so much. It seems to be offside is their main problem here. Inko van Wyk is a monster as usual. So here's Janko. That one's kicked into touch by Chris Smith. Now line out here for New Zealand for the Lions. About 43 metres out from New Zealand's line. But yeah, great steal in that breakdown. I believe it was actually Kronya who was able to get over it. On out here for PJ Bota. Got up the wires from Theme. And also the New Zealand All Blacks defeated Transvaal Lions 34-17 on July 11th, 1970. So sad that you pay Wall for these games here in the UK. In France, it's Canal Plus again. Yeah, see, I'd love to see the midweek games as free-to-air, and then the test matches, like if you need a subscription for them, I'd understand. A whole big shot from Satiti on Klakane. Trying to get the steal there was Samisi Tupo Taialoa. Kicked him behind by the Lions. Down towards the All Blacks 22. Nicely taken by Moonga inside of the 22 with the mark. Now passes away to Bowden Barrett off the quick tap. He runs it out from that 22-metre line. Black at another carry for Moonga. Moving it on. That's a loose ball picked up by Timothy Tavanawai. Passes one more to Fihifiri Anofo. Inside border Timothy Tavanawai. Those two dangerous. Big run. Running through 2 men is Timothy Tavanawai. Offload back up to Satiti. The All Blacks have gone from their own 22 to the 22 now of the Lions. Now back to the right. Moonga moves across to Blackadder. Again decides to straighten. Pick and go from Blackadder once more. Across to the right, finds Bowden Barrett's flick pass on the outside. Tui Palotu to Narawa, who can run it in and scores in the corner. New Zealand back in this contest now. 1 second, we'll go like that. And we'll go like that as well. But Narawa managing to score the try for New Zealand in the 24th minute of this contest. It'll be a crucial kick here for the Kiwis, but what a run from Timothy Tavanawai. We have got the OK win up the winners. And we have got there, also that is a try and a half. Says Duncan, Sky Sports is bad. Kiwi Lads is net level. And up the wires, says Joe there. But yeah, hopefully Sky kicks in some stage in the near future. Sky Sport working for you? Not at all. It was completely frozen, so I am watching on DSTV at the moment for this game. Bowden Barrett sitting 1 from 1 so far off the kicking tee. This is his toughest kick of the day, though. Why did Chris Smith have to do everything? So here's Albert. And Barrett just hangs it away to the right-hand side, so that is going to keep the score sitting 25 minutes into this game, 14-12 in favour of the Lions. And the All Blacks will come back second half. And it was on Sky Sports. There's Leanne. At the moment, not many at all. They have had the technical difficulties all throughout the early stages. New Zealand always gets going. I get on your podcast, mate. Greetings from, I think it was Austria, was it? Yeah, Austria. Welcome in, Kiwi Build. And cycling on Sky, yeah, they're having big problems. And what about Stan Sport? Stan Sport, by the sounds of it, is working. And Satiti is playing like a man possessed. He's been so good. Says Broderick there and update the score 14-14. It is not 14-14 though. He missed the kick in the end. I honestly think cyclists are instant wins now. They're not even worth points, says Ruben. And we over there, thanks mate, says Justin there. Now told to use it just inside of the 22. In fact, now just, I don't think he's allowed to kick this one into touch. In fact, Noah Hotham. So he instead goes aerial with it infield. Taken by Stain, who's lined up early by Sam Derry. And the penalty and the breakdown. Just sealing off from the Lions. And we have got there the downhill monument. Says Dominic there. And also the All Blacks team is very slack. Says Dub. And refund that guy, says Lima. Yeah, see, there's going to be a lot of people wanting a refund, and understandably so. Like, they're missing a whole All Blacks test at the moment. I wonder if they've put out like a statement or anything. We'll check at half-time to see whether or not they've like updated anyone on their social medias or anything like that. Now, line out here for New Zealand, about 30 metres out from the Lions line. Penalties conceded so far, 4 against the Lions, 2 against the All Blacks. So the discipline's actually been a lot better from New Zealand in this game. Lane like Moana Pacifica, looks like a bit of an injury here in back play for Mahashi. But they aren't actually going to allow it to stop. Instead, just playing on for Hefringa Norfo. Tackled nicely by Chris Smith. Now Hotham, moving away to the right-hand side. Moonga with the skip past to Bowden Barrett, cutting back inwards. The Lions are certainly being physical in the way that they're defending. Hotham looking short side to Narawa again. Oh, what's happened there? I think Narawa's knocked it on. Oh no, in fact, he was in touch. In fact, no, New Zealand have this ball. I don't know actually what's happened. I think Narawa had the ball, maybe had it stripped from him and then pushed the man into touch. We have good there. New Zealand can't even beat a club team. Says Rugby Ready. I think that everyone knows that a game of rugby is 80 minutes, though. It would be quite ironic, though, wouldn't it? Beat the world champs last weekend to then lose to the Lions. Nothing against the Lions. It's just different levels, of course. Have you seen Rassi's lineup this week? It's going to be cinema. Yeah, he's gone early. Curtly Aronsa in the lineup. I was quite surprised to see. Not straight line out throw from Samasoni Tolkiaho. So the scrum going to be the option here for the Lions. And we have got their gutter with Sky TV. Yeah, there's a lot of people who have spent like a lot of money to get this game. And also a lot of people who have gotten up early to be able to watch. It's currently 5:32 a.m. here in New Zealand. I think the Box, even in losing, took it out of New Zealand. They are 70% at best. There's like 3 players who played up against the Box in this lineup, though. So I feel like it's not really relevant what happened over the weekend for the guys playing here. Because in the exception of, well, you got Kyle Preston, Anton Leonard-Brown, Peter Larkai. Outside of that, none of these guys really played. I don't think. Yeah, no one else played. So 3 guys off of the bench who are currently not on your field or on the field, you're saying are the fatigued ones from the Bot game that took place a few days ago. Like, are they fatigued from celebrating it? Is that what you're saying? They're like they partied too long after the victory. Now Hefringa Norfo going to be tackled inside of the 22. And a penalty again. Side entry in the breakdown this time. The Lions saw what the All Blacks were doing to the Springboks to disrupt. Says South Africa there. We're having to Segner, sadly, ankle issues. And it sounds like it's actually severe enough for him to potentially go back to New Zealand. And not ideal for Anton Segner, seeing as he was in some terrific form. We have there the All Blacks have a weak team. Says Henry, well, this is very much a rotational team compared to what we saw over the weekend. And Segner has ankle problems, arthritis, as what they said, says Neil. And yeah, to be dealing with that at such an early age is really not ideal for Segner. Sky not working either. I'm in the USA and Rugby Pass won't load for me. I'm pissed. Yeah, so Rugby Pass as well as Sky both are struggling for this game, apparently. And I think that's because Rugby Pass probably used the Sky Sport coverage. Now, away to the left-hand side here for the Lions. Sitting just out from their own 22. Q and Horn. Nice step on the inside. Getting through the defensive line. Going for the chip and chase. But unfortunately for him, Moonga is back there covering. Although it's 3-on-1 and Moonga almost able to get away. Offloads it out to Narawa. One-handed offload from New Zealand here. Bowden Barrett will just look towards the sideline. And does get that one into touch. How are you watching? I'm watching on DSTV for this one. With a VPN as well. Seems a bit off that injured players get on the next plane home. Says Guppy. Although it depends on how long the injury is. The likes of Ratamo, I believe, is still in South Africa. But if they're guaranteed not to be back for the rest of the tour, it also does, like, it's brutal, but it does make sense. At the end of the day, you want to have the guys there who are available. Now PJ Buota throws it over the top. Frankie Horn, short ball to Richard Creel. Still the 2-point lead for the Lions at the moment. Nico Stain moving away to Henko. Fun Vaiki almost. We threw offload up there. 10 metres from the line for the Lions. Now Morne Fundenberg. Nice quick hands from Kieran Horn. Kelly and Piku going on the inside. Now Nico Stain Moving it away to the left again. Blackadder trying to roll out of that breakdown. Did you pay for DSTV? No, I very generously had someone let me use their account because I had to use it for, I believe it was Barbarians versus Springboks, or one random game ages ago. In fact, no, it was South Africa A versus Zimbabwe. Now offload on the outside, Kelly and Peku. Oh, I think Fehi Finianofo may have got his foot into touch. The referee very quick to give the try. But this might be a third here for the Lions. I'm hesitant to give this try just as of yet. I think they'll have to check the grounding. He is more than likely he's out. Yeah, it was given straight away, but I think Fehi has got his foot very close to the sideline. Going to see it in super slow-mo now. Oh no, what a finish. He's kept that foot up for just long enough there. Killian Peku and the Lions are on the board again. The first time since the 7th minute of this matchup. 1 second, Peku, and that was in the 33rd. You can't help but smile, can you? I mean, this is a brilliant performance so far from this Lions team. And so many unforced errors, frustrating, says Broderick, and that kick has gone over from Chris Smith too. Making the score now 21 points to 12. Red bars won't load either. Why are all our streaming services not working, says 22. See, the only positive I can think of is at least it's this game and not the next box test, but then that doesn't really help too much, does it? 1 second, I'm about to sneeze. Good. Now ball in the hands of the Lions currently. They are inside of their 22 though, so I'd say they'll want to get this one downfield as quickly as possible. And we have got there, does Kiwi Lads always commentate? We certainly do. We've done, I think it's around 1,500 or 2,000 streams on the channel. We've done all of the Greatest Rivalry Tour so far. Cover Super Rugby, the URC, the Sevens, Internationals for the Nations Championship and all sorts. Nice wide pass from Timothy Tavanawai. Now we get to see Fehi Finianofo show his pace. Does he have the man on the inside? He lures in the defender first and then offloads to Noah Hotham. You could argue that pass was a little bit delayed in terms of when it should have gone. Now, Richie Moonga, Waikato past to Wallace Atiti, Rico Ioane, one more to Narawa. Moves up to the 22, stepping on the inside. Mahashe, looks like that ankle's giving him a little bit of trouble at the moment. Now, Bowden Barrett, short ball to Samisi Tupo Taialoa. Didn't get the offload away to Derry, but Barrett moves it on to Moonga now. Delay pass to Timothy Tavanawai, and it will go to Blackadder, who can run it in. New Zealand get their second. In fact, no, they get their third. Isn't it weird how we had like a patch there where no one was scoring, and then now all of a sudden, you know, everyone's running it in again. Blackadder, though, scoring in the 36th minute of this first half. I can't believe we've almost had a whole half of rugby between these two sides already. And Othman's looking incredibly jet-lagged, says Broderick. And I'd say we're probably going to see the same for Jamie Hanna. I mean, that man's only just got to South Africa. Seul Lamau as well, to get his debut off of the bench. The fact that the Lions are dominating against the All Blacks just shows how close the Bok game was. Only difference was Bok didn't score 3 tries. They should have, and the ref missed 5 calls. Says Sam in there. We have there. I usually don't watch cycling. When I do, it's because I wanted to watch the All Blacks play the Lions. Yeah. People are going to have a newfound hatred for cycling, and no one will know why outside of the ones who did watch or try to watch the All Blacks play. That one's missed away to the right-hand side for Bowden Barrett, so the score remains 21 points to 17. See, this is a scenario where the Lions deserve to be ahead at halftime, but the reality is if New Zealand score again here, like, oh. Okay, they were just checking something there to see whether or not there was potentially a bit of high contact. How are you watching? I am watching it on, it is DSTV with a South African VPN loaded. People don't like cycling anyway, this don't help. And also we have got there this weekend, South Africa 73, New Zealand 8, check it. Says Mike. This one's going to be kicked off by the Lions again, down towards the 22, taken by Derry. One for New Zealand, though. They've got 3 minutes to try and get on the board again for that halftime break. DSTV is the best, mate. Says Amir. The only thing Blackadder needs to overcome is injury prone, says Mike. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I would say at the moment, Blackadder, alongside some of these backs for New Zealand, Blackadder's probably been the best All Black on the field. Now back into the pocket, Moonga goes across to Bowden Barrett. Oh, actually, Ioane's had a solid start to this game too, although I did say outside of the backs. I'd say he's probably been the best forward, Ethan Blackadder, so far. Kewan Horn, he's going to go for the chip in behind again. He's found the open space, running onto it, nicely done by Bowden Barrett. Could have almost been obstruction there. Moonga now going away to the right, and Moni Narawa, good hands from him. Right next to the sideline, cuts back in and currently running sideways. Samisi Tupo Taialoa up to Blackadder, beautiful offload there to Basilio Tossi, some pure pace from him. Bowden Barrett dropped it onto the boot, tried to go for a kick. Has slapped it back to Satiti, who fires it on to Finianofo, who will run it in for the try. As long as the pass was backwards, the crowd aren't happy about it. I think this is going to be checked to see whether or not Bowden did have that forward pass. Yeah, no, this is time off, so we're not going to add it yet, because I do actually think that this one will be chalked off. They're going upstairs for the TMO check. Is it working now, says Jonathan? Not that I know of. I think it is still playing up, unfortunately. Okay, 15 Black does not regain the ball before he kicks it, so it's actually going to be a knock-on from Bowden Barrett. It did happen very quickly. And there's an HIA too, by the sounds of it. Oh, no, that's fine. It looks like he meant to do the grubber. The TMO's trying to say that he's knocked it on. And Gardner's going, no, the ball was in possession. Okay, so they're fine with that now. So they're trying to say not have... Oh. Okay, now to be fair, I can see why they're getting at it a little bit, because Bowden's pretty much, he's had the ball hit his hand up here and then put it down so that he can then grubber it. And that's forward, says Nada Boy. We've got a super sticker as well from Jalen. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated for your generosity there. Need to petition to ban cycling. Says Ords. Okay, they are just checking for that last pass. Yeah, that's forward. By the looks of it from Sati. Oh, the foot though. Is Fihi behind him? Probably not. No, that looks like it's travelled forward from Wallace Satiti. So this one's going to be ruled out anyway. We have got their 14 jump forward to catch it. And also, good for the stream channel to have Sky down. Says Lumpy, yeah, although it's never good for like the amount of people who want to watch this game. Like, I always say that, like, I would rather people be able to watch the game than watch me. Sky, am I compensated? Says Ellis, they'll have to do something. Right, so it is going to be a 4-pass, no try. And this one now with 2 minutes remaining here. Okay, I think Frankie Horn was just saying that it was almost a knock-on anyway too. Timo really wants to be the ref. And I love the stability in the scrums. Just a great contest. And thanks for the commentary, mates. Here, Stumpy. No worries at all. But yeah, that's greatly appreciated, you guys all tuning in. Anyone who is new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. YouTube video lagging now. Says odds there, bloody hell, Sky Sport. And also we have got the, I reckon Hamish's VPN is costing him bandwidth for the stream. I would say so, yeah. It has gone a little bit glitchy for me now, the coverage too. Ball execution, not liking the attitude being shown out there. And CY14 took a slow touchdown. He knew it was forward. Yeah, see, the way that he ran it in, I agree. It seemed like he had already half by expected them to bring it back. Happy to watch and mostly listen to you. Going to lie down and maybe fall asleep. Says Dominic there. Anyone know what cycling, mountain bike, or roadies? When does it end? Well, it was supposed to end a long time ago. But it still hasn't. So it's some big concerns for Sky Sport. But New Zealand, after that 4-pass, it is going to be the scrum feed for the Lions. We are very close to the halftime break too in this contest. Where it will be 15 minutes where people will send emails to Sky, I'm sure. Sky Sport dropped the ball. Yeah, I mentioned about the only positive to take from it is the fact that it's this game, not the test. But this has been a very good matchup so far. Very competitive between the two sides. But yeah, it's not the time to lose coverage. That is for sure. Sky Sport has lost the plot. Says F Hunter. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll very quickly mute. We are back. And intercept Cheslin Colby, good night, nurse. Says Sam there. It sounds like the Dirty Trackers struggle not taking the game serious. To be honest, this game doesn't help our test preparation. Well, yeah, it's the scenario where this is pretty much a game where we're going to see maybe 3 or 4 of these guys possibly off the bench in the test match, but we're not going to see a huge amount of these guys starting throughout any of the contests. But it's all about who's going to put their hand up to be able to go off the bench. Holy cow, Lions winning, says South Africa. Currently winning this game 21 points to 17. 1 second, we'll go like this. Now DSTV's starting to glitch out a little bit for me. It was doing a bit of stop-start before. Can't even get it on Sky Sport for some reason. Yeah, they've had a lot of technical difficulties with Sky Sport. The last scrum was fast. They can't keep getting away with this. And not live on Stan Sports. I believe Stan Sports do have this game. And are the All Blacks going to kick on in the second half? What are your thoughts? I think so. Although I do also think that the Lions are going to keep this one competitive for as long as possible. But, you see, DSTV has now also gone to a blank screen, which is not ideal. 1 second, we'll go like that. How's Richie? Richie struggled in the game. And what the flip my Sky ain't working. Yeah, currently they are having technical difficulties with Sky Sport. What venue South Africa and New Zealand playing on Saturday? They are playing at Cape Town Stadium. It's in Bowden Barrett home. Says Justice. But yeah, it is halftime in this contest, ladies and gentlemen. 21 points to 17. We didn't get the last 1 or 2 minutes of the coverage for the half as my DSTV was now glitching too. So there's not many options for being able to watch this game around the world. We did have it for quite a bit of the World Rugby channel working like perfect. And you're very glitchy, Amish, says Glenn Sell in there as well. What I might do is I might have to get the old iPad out for the second half. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gents, I will disappear for like half a second, I think. Maybe. 1 sec. Hello, we're back again. Hope you guys are doing well. I've switched over so that I can have it on the iPad. And then that also means that that doesn't glitch as much for the stream as a whole. We have got that, can see it now. So TT, well, you're not in the Test 15. Says Ellis there. Yep, mate, I did subscribe, says Dominant. Greatly appreciated. And just a few execution errors and, well, some injuries for the Lions side. And seems like the lads are trying to do too much. Yeah, it seems like they've been a little bit, I would say, loose is probably the way that I'd describe that first half for them. It just seemed to be that there were quite a few mistakes that they'd normally like to avoid. 1 second, I'm just checking here. Because, yeah, World Rugby did have it earlier on. Over there, Morena Hamish, how you doing, mate? Says Tomo Thompson. Doing very well. Hope you are doing well too. But, yeah, first half, the Lions leading. Heading into the second 40, I don't think many people saw that coming whatsoever. But that is part of the fun of this matchup. And excellent stream match. Says Jonathan, unnecessary passes, not enough structure. And it seemed like the timing of some of the passes was a little bit off too. I also do think we have to give a lot of credit to what we saw from this South African Lions team, though. They were able to, in my opinion, do a lot of things right. They were keeping the ball in hand. A few phases put together. Anyone else having a problem with Sky Sport now? Yeah, no one's been able to access it throughout this first half. Because what country are you in, I Am Nutty, that you got the World Rugby stream going? And is it on the channel or was it on Rugby Pass? How are you watching? I was watching on DSTV. So the South African option, Rugby Pass, back online in the USA. So here's South Africa. So I wonder whether or not it's back online here in New Zealand. Whether it's still on that cycling race. And don't know, didn't see it, thanks, Guy. And we're all having problems with Sky Sports, says F. Hunter. Yeah, see, Sky Sports still got their glitchy little circle when I did look at it. I'm in the UK. Says I am nutty. And that's just on the YouTube channel, right? And still on the race, says Ryan. Yeah, so they're going to have a lot of angry people. I think match works on the YouTube channel for World Rugby. Our phone is the commentary and the computer is the match with the sound off. Says Justin. Bowden is having a shocker on the tee. He's only sitting 1 from 3 so far off of the kicking tee, which by his standards he'd be a bit disappointed with. I think Bowden Barrett. And Working now missed half the game. Says SB Walker. And also Dub is a dreamer. And yeah, it's back on Sky now. 1 second, we'll see if it's loading. If they got... Okay. So yeah, it is back on Sky by the looks of it. There's about half the half missing. Roughly. In fact, no, it's now glitching again. I'd rather listen to commentary. Sky's lost another customer after today. Well, we are here for every single matchup that is taking place. Whether that's the greatest rivalry, but a Super Rugby. It's glitchy, but working some. They must be working on it. Says South Effie. And back on, says Johnny Joseph there. In pre-season for the Lions, they will run out of gas. And wonder why he didn't make the team against the Box. Says Harlem. Yeah, okay, so it's still a little bit glitchy on the Sky side of things. Your verdict on the match? I would say, in terms of the first half, the Lions deserve to be in the lead. I think that they played some really strong rugby, including that intercept. The big issue for them was a little bit of that discipline. As this full strength AB is nowhere near it. We're going to see maybe 5 of these guys featuring in the test match if they're lucky. And other than that, probably not many of the others. And then I think that Blackett has played himself into the test match, to be fair, with the way that he has been going here. I would say that in the back line, someone like a Narawa looks like he'd be able to do the job if called upon. Rico Ioane, he's been solid so far as well here. But yeah, there's certainly a lot of guys who probably haven't put their name in the hat. This kind of exposes AB's lack of depth, unfortunately. Says Sean, well, I also think it just comes down to a lack of game time. We're always going to see a little bit of rust from the guys who haven't played a lot. And Ethan earning his keep. Says Harlem there. And also we have got there, it is working on Sky, says Trish, and gone off again. Yeah, I think they're only cutting in and out at the moment a little bit. And we have got there, All Blacks seem to be getting ahead of themselves, but the Lions have been good, especially with their scramble D. Yeah, they've made a lot of crucial tackles from inside of their 22, the Lions. Is the ground heavy? Just feels players are not as fast, says Mike. Yeah, it might be a little bit heavy underfoot. It seemed like there was a lack of pace in some of the runs. The likes of the break down the wing from Timothy Tavatavanawa, he didn't quite seem to hit full stride. And I need my refund, says Analiko there. And Richie is rusty. Yeah, Moong has shown a few signs of lack of game time as well, even though he has been playing in the NPC, cohesion combinations. And actually happy I missed the first half. Sounds like jet lag got the guys. I'm sure the team will sort themselves out. Yeah, you think second half should be stronger. Tavatava should be in the test side. As a reserve row, you're starting him, Daniel Watson, because I feel like it's very hard to take Geordie Barrett out now after the way that he did just recently play up against the South Africans. So Barrett probably gets the nod at 12. But in terms of a reserve spot, it could be a good option. Sky's 5 minutes behind. Says Augmenta there. And it's still glitching a bit on Sky. Best thing about not watching the first half, I didn't hear Justin Marshall. Says Dominic there. And who won the Lions in Argentina? Who won Lions in Argentina? Lions as in like the British and Irish Lions. Different team. But in that case, it was the Argentines beat the British and Irish Lions, if that's the game you're referring to. We have got there that 15 from the Lions has been excellent defensively. Yeah, Kewan Horn, he's a solid player. Doesn't get enough credit, I don't think, at times for what he's able to do. We have got there that 15 from the Lions has been excellent defensively. A rugby pass tip. Go out of the app and restart. Says Rugby Effie. For Sunday. Wait, who won Lions in Argentina for Sunday? Where's the Kiwis? Says Curly. Wait, so Argentina playing this weekend up against Australia. You've really stumped me with that comment. LA Hollywood. I feel like you're just saying random things now. Tossie beat around, good around the field. Yeah, that big run from Tossie up the middle was pretty impressive. One Rugby TV's Rugby Pass TV not working now. Okay, so it's glitching everywhere by the sounds of it, which is just not ideal for the coverage of this game. We're going to go. There we go. We're back. We're now in South Africa again. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go back to the coverage on DSTV because that was working the best throughout the first half. And good morning, Hamish and Team Kiwi Lads. Shocking to see AB's behind to a provincial team. Best wishes and bring it home, says Sana. And Sky Sports showing the cycling. Yeah, they're keen on the cycling, aren't they? And Sky is go here, says FIFA. Barasi is taking notes for the Lions. And why are you shuddering a lot? It's just through pretty much through going to the VPN. Makes it a little bit more glitchy. 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go like this, 1 second. We are good. We have the Lions will win. And also, yeah, little face, the All Blacks will come right. And also classy, always classy match. Says Bacon there. And also Sky Sport now is now showing the game. Yeah, it's probably going to cut in and out, I would think, all throughout the second half. Unfortunately, love your commitment to bringing the commentary. Says Patrick, yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are here each and every week for the internationals as well as a whole heap of other random matches along the way too. What are you watching on? On DSTV is what I have got. I tried to get it back onto Sky Sport. Wasn't working, so I've gone back to the South African option of being able to watch it. I get your old man on. He is currently asleep. And tell you what, he would have been well and truly annoyed if he had gotten it up and then ended up not getting to watch this game, taking it way too serious. Kiwi says DNN. And also Tui Pilotu has been better than Derry. Yeah, and I think that we will see Jamie Hanna make his way on early on in the second half. Just because of the factor of one of these two men who are starting here has to then play off the bench in the next game, potentially, depending on where they move Tupou Vai, or actually they'll be starting, my apologies, maybe if Vai stays 6. And I'm watching ads. Yeah, they've currently got a South African Springboks ad at the moment. Looks like for Coca-Cola. And Sky Sport now currently showing halftime host chat. Says DIY Guru. Have they acknowledged the fact that the whole first half didn't work? Or are they just acting like it never happened? My VPN is trying very hard to watch the match, still failing right now. Says Evil Mockingjay. I think it's worth noting that you can chuck any 15 guys together in a squad, and no matter how good they are, game time and chemistry is more important than individual quality. ABs will improve. Says my username. And is Hamish sick? Not quite. Had really bad hay fever earlier on, and it's still kind of kicking in. Sky was showing all the first half, like restarting the game. I think they will make it up. Ollie, I'm awake. You clowns, though. Anyway, going back to the cycling downhill. Yeah, second half of this contest, just around the corner. Hopefully we get some stats to do with that first half, but some brilliant moments throughout that first 40 minutes for the Lions. The All Blacks, they still had their moments too. I think that Blackadder has been extremely solid for the Kiwis. I do think he's going to win this game. This is going to be tough. I do think the All Blacks should be able to find a bit of rhythm in the second half. This game could go in a similar direction to what we saw for the Stormers match. In fact, both sides have made their way back out onto the field now, so we are just about to get back underway. I don't even have to watch the game. I just listen to your commentary, which makes a clear picture. Says Zero. Cool. Thank you very much. But yeah, anyone who is new, be sure, of course, to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be continuing on with plenty more of this Greatest Rivalry Tour, jumping into the Bledisloe Cup after that, and then the URC returns as well, and then the Nations Championship. And there as well, Change Hotham and Barrett and Rennie rev up the All Blacks will do it. They could have scored 50 by now, says Sonny Listen. And again, Hamish reminded me of the old days of listening to the radio when sports were on live. Right, second half about to start up. The All Blacks kicking off from left to right. And just getting the nod from Angus Gardner there. Is it on Sky? It's trying to be on Sky, I think is the way to describe it. They've had a lot of glitches taking place, nicely taken there by the Lions. It's a run from Ruan Del Port. Nico Stain going away to the right-hand side, going in circles against Sky, says Retama there. Yeah, I think they're going to have problems all throughout the second half. Nico Stain ready to kick this one up from about 25 metres from the Lions line, down towards the halfway line, beautifully taken by Kronya, who breaks through Barrett's tackle. Mahashi, injured ankle and all, running down the wing, tackled into touch by Moonga. The referee said play on, but it is out, and they've given the try to Kronya. Probably should check that foot wasn't out, which it was, but they are going to still award it for now. Can you let us watch game 2? Sadly, not any sort of footage that I do show would get me taken straight off YouTube with a copyright strike. I think they're checking for a knock-on here. Mahashi was tackled and touched by Richie Moonga, who did very nicely to be able to grab him around the ankle and twist him into touch. But they are celebrating it big time, the Lions here. They're still waiting for the replay. Okay, they're going to turn the shot clock off here. And Mahashi, a special box, must snatch him up. And inability to take a box kick again, says Nutter Boy. Okay, Tui Pilotu just said, can we please check the knock-on as well as the foot in touch? And Timo's still checking. Tough to talk slowly, commentating on live game, says Nick. Definitely with chat as well. That kind of makes me go at 1,000 miles an hour. As a Sky New Zealand issue, Sky UK works, no issues. Although Rugby Pass TV is also not working. Oh. Oh, try's going to stand. They only looked at that very briefly, but it looked like the tip of the boot of Mahashi was definitely close to the sideline, if not on it. But the try will stand, and Mahashi has a double. Well, there you go. 1 second, we're going to go like that. Got to go like that. Mahashi has the double with the early try for the Lions here. And try, if I'm not really in touch millimetres in it. And I also tell Sky you want a refund, says Tomo. I wasn't expecting the scoreline, says Olsen, but a great start to the second half. When does Rennie use his bench? It's the big question for the Kiwis as this is a good game at the moment. It's kind of annoying in a way, only because in our lineup prediction, they went early with the lineup New Zealand. And in that lineup prediction video that me and Tim did, that eventually I did unlist because it made no sense to be up after the lineup was announced. But in that video, I said that the Lions were going to be New Zealand's toughest challenge. And that got shut down. It was that the Stormers were going to be the hardest side. But in this case, I think the Lions are proving exactly why people were looking at this game as the one that was potentially going to test the All Blacks the most. They are being tested big time here. I'll sub at 50 to 60 minutes. Now moving along, Bowden Barrett driving tackle on him. Losing a few more metres here for the Kiwi. Samasoni Tolkiaho. The Lions were $15 underdogs at the start of this game, ladies and gentlemen. And they are currently leading up against the All Blacks by 11 points. And terrible defending there, says Broderick. Now Moonga fires it across. Great low spot tackle. As Rennie really coaching. They should be preparing for Saturday and delegating this one, says User. Now it's kicked in behind by the Lions after they were able to get the steal. Richie Moonga just 5 metres out from the line. Kelly and Pecker, he wins the penalty for the Lions again. I get them off the field, says Dell. Yeah, but you're in a tricky scenario, aren't you? Because Preston's got to be the reserve halfback. So in a way, you almost have to hope that Hothan can play the full 80 here. The Lions are still $2.80 underdogs, ladies and gents, so they have gone down, but I'm surprised that they aren't almost favourites with the way that they're going here. What an opening half for the Lions, says Gutzia. And that's in morning Amish and all. I wasn't expecting the scoreline. Yeah, I don't think many people were whatsoever. For this one, this is a pretty disappointing game, says Trish Gordon. And All Blacks better not let me down, says Scott Clark. Now ready for this line out here, PJ Borta. Throws it to the back. Nicely taken now. Big run from Klakane, who's hard to stop, but Satiti has done brilliantly to be able to do so. Now close to the line again for PJ Bota. The Lions, if they're not careful here in New Zealand, they will concede again. Morne Vandenberg out to Richard Creel. Spot tackle from Ioane. Blackadder on the ball. Rips it away. Basilio Tossi gives it to Derry. Some silky skills at least there were for half a second till he gave it back to Kewan Horn. Short side for Stain. Tries to offload it up and there's an advantage now against the Kiwis. This might be a yellow card too here. Frankie Horn offloads up now close to the line for Kronya, who tries to crawl over. And does he get it down? Just short is the call. I just realised I gave Mahashe the second try, but he actually didn't get that one. Now just 1 metre short as well. It was Kronya who did manage to score it initially. Kronya in the 41st. Right. Referee's going back, no advantage, but the penalty against New Zealand, what a friendly. Says the AO6. And we have got there, okay, big shout out for you for covering Sky's arse, no offence. I'll try and switch to Sky, says Punobs, no worries at all. If it is working, 100% watch the game. A lot of Kiwis have got up at a very early hour of the morning to be able to watch this one, so yeah, if it's available, go for it. Is this an All Blacks team playing? Well, it is, but it isn't. Like, it's the All Blacks developmental side, I would call it, or the experimental team. This is nothing like the team that we're going to see play South Africa on the weekend. What a weird passage of play. Yeah, it seemed quite messy, didn't it, as a whole? The Lions all but getting over multiple times. The Lions crowd getting behind their team here, though, and a few very nervous All Black supporters in the stands with the way this one is sitting. Why are the All Blacks playing touch? Just tuck and run. Says Nada Boy. Pre-engaged on the far side. What time are you watching this in New Zealand? So currently in New Zealand it is 6:07 a.m. It's going to be the scrum reset here. And what time is it in the game? Currently 46 minutes through. A chance here for the Lions to get something going again. New Zealand just running everything, putting themselves under heaps of pressure. Then there is lag with Kiwi Lads and Rugby Pass. There's South Affy there. And we're looking so predictable. Well, that's the thing. I think the All Blacks going into this game, their mindset seems to be, we've got a good backline that can run the ball, so we're going to do that every single time. And why can't you show the game? Because it's illegal to show any sort of footage. That's a massive scrum there from the Lions, and it's over. Frankie Horn scores, and the Lions get another one. 1 second, we'll go like that. We're going to put an F for Frankie. And he has scored it in now the 47th minute of this contest. The All Blacks are getting decimated in the second half so far. You've been about 3 minutes behind, says Jogi. I am watching on DSTV, which does seem to be slightly glitching a little bit. But I just want to be careful not to glitch it too much by trying to go live. Because last time I tried to go live, it broke it for like 15 minutes. Luckily, that 15 minutes was half time, though. They just mauled these lot over the try line, push over scrum try box, picking their lips. Says LB. The Springboks had a bad day. If they had a good day, they would have won. Says Samantha, or Samanda, I should say. I feel like that's a very broad statement, though, isn't it? Right. Okay, that was not a smart move. I tried to go to live because it was mentioned that it was behind, and now it's only at the halfway mark. So hopefully I can get it back to being close to live, or else we've just broken it completely trying to go forward. We have there what is happening, says Olsen. At the moment, the Lions are doing extremely well. They are up to 35 points to 17, kicked off by Richie Moonga. And Tui Pilotu taken off the field for Jamie Hanna. That tells you roughly who's going to be playing this weekend in terms of the test. Maybe the Lions should have played the first test, says America. Go in and out, says Haino there as well. Taken now by Bowden Barrett, off to Richie Moonga. Imagine that first game back for him. Could be a record loss for New Zealand. Now, Noah Hotham. Now on away to Samisi Tupo Taialoa. About 40 metres out from the line here. New Zealand need to start being able to find some sort of rhythm, and I feel like Hannah may be able to bring it. Crazy thing is, though, he's probably very jet-lagged at the moment. Only would have recently got off his flight. There was a bit of a story about his flight to Rieko Ioane going up the middle, pure pace from the All Blacks 13, and he scores the try. This is where you need those guys to be able to step up like a Ioane, like a Barrett, who hasn't quite been able to find the full stride yet, but that is pace from Ioane, almost a throwback kind of speed from the man, and the All Blacks get back within, I guess, touching distance of the Lions. Isn't that a crazy statement? We have got there, I fully understand why Sky Sports took the stream down, says Albert. This is the leadership you get from the Tuipulotu side. Where's he even been? Says Broderick there. This is getting embarrassing for the All Blacks from watching the British and Irish Lions tours. You've got to put 100% into the midweek of a good of the collective efforts. And this is a sympathy win for South African fans. Says, I am nutty, but you can guarantee that it will be talked about a lot if they do pull off the victory here, the Lions. There's still 30 minutes, though. And that's the tricky thing, right? New Zealand, once they score one, normally the trend is to score again. That kick has gone over from Richie Mo'unga, so they have decided to change on the kicking tee, getting rid of the Barrett option. We have got there, this is where the All Blacks will win eventually. When they get decent possession, they score. Subs will tidy it up, says Neil. About time Rieko did something. He had a couple good runs in the first half, though, to Ioane's credit. I feel like a lot of the time, though, New Zealand were just trying to get it out wide to Fihi and also to Amoni Narawa, so that probably stopped Ioane from being fully in the game. We haven't seen Timothy Tavanawai for a little while, though. He's kind of disappeared in the second half. And we have got there, kia ora Hamish. There's Henry, welcome in, hope you're doing well. Nice take from There's Timothy Tavanawai as he breaks through three defenders, and he's still going. Gotta love a commentator's curse as he moves up to the 40 metres out from the Lions line. Sam Derry pops it on to Satiti. This seems like more what the All Blacks would have wanted to do earlier on. Talkiaho, short ball to Derry, more metres made. Nico Stain, he almost got the turnover. Leave it for the All Blacks was the comment. No, leave it. All Blacks was the comment, from Angus Gardner. And it was Nico Stain who managed to get that counter ruck as the Lions get possession back. Going to be Hiram Andrews from that number 19 jersey. Now, Frankie on, I think the All Blacks are still effed. Our Lions are too far ahead, says Jason Bourne. And what's the score at the moment? It is 35 points to 24 after 51 minutes. Now this one's kicked downfield again. Oh, it's a good kick as well. Down towards the halfway line, too far ahead. See, it's Tim Julius there. See, 11 points though is not a lot in a game of rugby. Definitely in a game of rugby where we've already seen 59 points. What the hell says NZ Trucker? There'll be a few Kiwis waking up, getting ready to head to work today and going, hang on, what's the score? You watch rugby ever? Says Tim Julius, and also I hope the Lions are ready for the All Blacks. And the last 10 minutes is Vitamin Green, and that is where New Zealand have really been strong. We see Brian Fenter make his way onto the field. Morne Brandon and also Ares Skuman is out there too for the Lions, so all three changes in the front row department. Now, there's a big lead for the Lions, and it certainly is. New Zealand trying to shut down that lead a little bit though. Lions' work in the breakdown has been incredible throughout this contest, and I think that is where a lot of their big possession moments in this game have come from. Now, Derry. See, Derry, I think, has been better than Tuipulotu in this match. Beauden Barrett chipping in behind. Here comes Amoni Narawa waiting for the bounce of the ball, but he's knocked it on. Or has he? It's picked up by Hotham, but they'll go back for the knock-on call. Will now be a scrum for the Lions. I want to empty the bench, says Mashihu. It's a little bit strategic, I believe, from Rennie. Because you look through at this bench, the likes of a Leonard Brown, the likes of a Kyle Preston, more than likely will be playing this weekend. So Peter Larkai the same. You don't want to use those guys too early. Xavier Numia as well, a late call into this lineup, so I don't see them bringing him out there earlier than they need to. But, yeah, I think that this is also maybe a bit of a statement from Rennie saying, hey, listen, do the job. You know, you're out there for a reason. It'd be nice to have a timer. How many minutes left? So the timer is down the bottom. As you see, 51 minutes through, or 53 now, in fact. So still 27 minutes remaining. I imagine we have Dion Ferry and Paul de Villiers on at the same time on Saturday. Says LB, Yeah, although that's only if Kolisi doesn't make the team. They've got 2 men listed as their number 6 at the moment, the South Africans. So yeah, if Kolisi is injured, then Dion Fourie and Paul de Villiers certainly could both get out there same time. Do you think this is an indication that where there is a big gap between the first and second choice players? Not really. I think that this is a classic example of guys who haven't had a lot of minutes then going out there and playing like guys who haven't had a lot of minutes. I think there'll be a lot of narratives written about this game too, as we saw the narratives about the South Africa All Blacks game as well. But I think that like the Lions also do deserve a huge amount of credit with how they have played in this contest. But I do think that the All Blacks, there are a few guys out there who have been far from their best at the moment, but it doesn't mean they lack depth. You know, it's the same as what we saw when Rassi announced his side on Monday. And people said, oh, where's this depth? Because he's pretty much picked the same guys. No, it's just an example of a coach having a game plan. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's rugby. Kick there from Beauden Barrett into touch. We have got there, my husband got up to watch the cycling at 12:30 a.m. at 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. Says Glenn there. And what's the score? Currently 35-24 in favour of the Lions. We do see now Leonard Brown. He has been added out there onto the field for Fihi Frianofo. So we'll see a bit of a reshuffle, and perhaps Ioane drops out to the wing. Ethan Adaria up there. Says Harlem too. Thrown in and nicely taken at the line out from Andrews. Up to the halfway line, Chris Smith to Klakane. And we do see also Hassan Peters on the field for Nico Stain, who's had a very strong game from that number 9 jersey. Now Chris Smith tries to run it. It throws the All Blacks off. That man never runs the ball for the Lions, and he actually has missed the passing chance there too, but now still moving it on. Here comes the big man in Brian Fenter. The Lions on attack once more. Hassan P, big wide cutout pass to Kronya, running down the wing and gets driven into touch by Narawa there. Take Barrett off. Says Lawrence there. South Africa needs Sia Kolisi leadership, says Ben Hayes. And so he needs to put up his boots and come on the All Blacks, says Josiah. And ironically, a loss for the All Blacks is the best thing for New Zealand, says Andy there. Sia is playing, says random stuff. Well, he's listed as playing, but they've got a backup for him. They've also got Paul de Villiers listed as a potential playing option there, depending on whether or not Kolisi is 100% match fit. We do see now Peter Lakai. He will make his way on. Really poor missed tackles by New Zealand. See a studs race. And that is going to be for Samisi Tupo Taialoa. Score is currently 35-24 after 54 minutes in this game. The Lions Kiwi Springbok food triangle is very confusing right now, says Scott. We do also see Kyle Preston has made his way on to. Here comes Peter Lakai. Instant impact with his first carry in this contest. Rasi confirmed today he is starting. Oh, so he has actually given him the captaincy. That's good though in a way, isn't it? Because that means Peter Steph-Toy can fully focus on just playing rather than having to worry about the captaincy too. Ball is back into the hands of Klakane. And we have the Kiwi fans piling on Richie Moe. Pajamas had to clean up some awful D. Says TypeScript. Now, Rico Ioane, interception like we saw in the first half. Ioane has the double and scores again for New Zealand. Do you know what's crazy, right, ladies and gentlemen? There are so many people who said that Rico Ioane shouldn't have been in the All Blacks, right? We are about to have a situation where it might be Rico Ioane saves the All Blacks in this match against the Lions. He gets his double here. And drive from Ioane, says Gutsia. And also we have got there now, the All Blacks going to up their game, says Jeff J. And the danger is we're not at that last 20 minutes yet. And that is where New Zealand throughout this whole tour, whether that's up against the Springboks or whether that's up against the URC sides, that's where New Zealand do normally get their rhythm. Lions don't even play in the Champions Cup. They do this year. They are in the upcoming Champions Cup. They've got the game up against La Rochelle in round number 1. Rico rides again, says DIY Guru. And we have got there, told you Rico was guns, says Scott. And stay focused and keep the ball, Lions, and Lions making sure the boys work hard. Says Jasmine there too, but great work from Ioane. Q&On almost able to catch him. Rico keeping the slack team in it. And people who watch URC probably notice Ioane can still play. Absolutely, he had a good season for Leinster in the URC. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze, so we'll quickly hide. They are just showing Mornay Stain. as well. Rico's been all right. But I have seen some missed tackles, says Rio Gamer. I think we've seen a lot of missed tackles from everyone out there on the field for New Zealand currently. But yeah, those 14 extra points might be absolutely crucial for the Kiwis here. Nicely taken by Derry inside of the New Zealand 22. Now they're down by 4. And he looked brilliant today. Does Rennie pull him early today for the tough decisions? I think he'll play on the full 80. More than likely we'll see Leonard Brown or Ioane as that guy off the bench, depending on how they're feeling. But yeah, currently I'd say that he's definitely earned his spot, Ioane, for the attack alone. But you probably use him as an impact off the bench, though. Tackling's optional, says Scott. It'd be nice to see the Lions win, but it seems difficult considering the bench. Usually 60 minutes is the time it falls apart. And yeah, that's the thing is, right, there's a chance that this one, it could end in a very different looking scoreline. But I want it to be remembered how well the Lions did up till this stage. Which is it's a rough comment, but the reality is, if this game goes one-sided from here, the Lions has still been very solid. They've scored 35 points here. I believe that's the most out of any side on this greatest rivalry tour so far, right? Now, stepping there, Hasim Peed. It's definitely more than the Sharks scored anyway. Now, Klekane, tackled by Peter Lakai. Come on, the All Blacks, the Lions are going to win. Sees Hano there, Hasim Peed charged down by Jamie Hanna. Moves them back into their own 22 now. The Lions, Q and Horn, going for the kick downfield, looking for the 50-22, straight into the arms of Bowden Barrett, who will run it forward out to Richie Moonga. Running sideways at the moment, Moonga looking for the gap. He's smashed, though, in the tackle by the Lions. Now Kyle Preston, Siali Luwaki, going across to Leonard Brown. He'll go for a 50-22, but straight to Q and Horn. Looked like a knock-on, unless that was just glitching a little bit. Kicking it downfield, Bowden Barrett. The ball again. New Zealand looking for their next option. Barrett throws the big, long, slinging pass out to Amoni Narawa, who almost goes through, but Cronya's there, and there is a knock-on from the Kiwis on the ground. It was risky from Barrett. What a dumb pass, says I am Nutty. Yeah, pretty much set up Narawa and said, good luck. Hope you do all right. Akarifi is a magic pony. Says random stuff. There are so many weird passages to play in this game. It's looked very disorganised. 11 handling errors for New Zealand at the moment. And WDF Bowden Barrett says, not a boy. And I was a come on boys, says Alan there. Now we have got there, it's 35-32, not 29. It's currently 35-31 between these two sides, the way that it sits. We have got there Moonga, Rico, Tawai, Blackadder, great. Barrett, Derry, Otham are bad. Says Sonny, listen. And we have got there WDF is Bowden Barrett doing, says Jonathan, and come on, Lions beat them. Says Leslie September. Now Hasim Peed, we are just about at that final 20 minutes. I take a drop kick if you're close to the poles. New Zealand clearly have one tactic. Free kick goes the way of New Zealand. That is a massive moment there, as if the Lions had got their scrum going like they did from the Frankie Horn try before. Here comes Lakai. Another tackle made by Mahashi. He's going to be Lions man of the match if he does get the victory here. Now short ball, so TT decides to hang on to it. Breaking the line, couldn't quite find the next gap. Now penalty goes the way of Richard Creel. The Lions just have that hustle about them at the moment. And Barrett better than the whole Lions team. Just a bunch of third-rate players. I would 100% disagree. I think Mahashi has been world-class in this contest. I think we've seen some great moments from Richard Creel as well as Hinko Fun Fake. We've seen out on the wing, Eric Cronya's had some phenomenal moments. Chris Smith's played a much better game than a lot of people were anticipating for this match. We saw a great start from Nico Stain, a couple big runs from Klekane. A lot of those guys have been out playing some of these guys in the All Blacks kits. How much time is left? Still another 20 minutes remaining. We've ticked into the final quarter of this contest. It's difficult to take this ball. He was quick. Says Evil Mockingjay. And also we've got there, that guy was on his feet, says Robert T. Not releasing the tackler, says Jonathan there. All the pundits that said this was a dangerous team, says Dub. You see, I never want... Well, see, that's the thing. I said the Lions could lose by 34, which was way too high. I said 24 was probably more accurate. That's going to be a drop ball now. But yeah, the Lions were always going to be the toughest match of these URC games. And I stuck by that the whole way through the tour, and I'm glad I stuck by it. Bowden Barrett kicking this one downfield, looking for a 50-22, but Kewan Horn is at the back there. Now Seula Ma'u making his way onto the field for his test debut. And again, he's in one where it's going to be a very challenging, does it count as a debut if it's against the Lions? I think it does, right? Now turnover there for the All Blacks. The breakdown again. Running out of time, ABs. Fast. Says Allens, well, here comes Richie Moonga. Again, the same run that we've seen about 3 or 4 times from him. They're starting to work it out, the Lions, and their defensive line is just drifting with the way that the All Blacks are running. Seula Ma'u thought about an offload. Couldn't quite get away. Hannah getting stuck, and he's looked impressive since making his way off of the bench. Wallace Atiti, another step from him. Lekani can't quite get there. Here's Hannah wanting the offload. 2-man tackle on him, getting driven backwards. Taukiaho with a pick and go there, running it straight at the Springbok Brian Fenter. Now Bowden Barrett. Oh, that's great hands from Nawaki because that pass wasn't intended for him. Black at a ball on the outside to Richie Moonga. Passes to Timothy Nawai. One more pass to Ioane. Delayed it a little bit. Black at a ball on the inside. The big man deserves another try. And he's got it there, Ethan Blackadder. The All Blacks take the lead at the 62nd minute mark. There's a few doubles coming in this contest for New Zealand. We have there go. My All Blacks boys, says Peter there. But Timothy Tavanawa just had a man on his leg dragging him along, trying to get a couple extra meters, and then a great inside ball from Ioane. And also we have got there, you're 10 to 14 seconds behind now. I will take that over 3 minutes every day of the week. Fins up Blackadder. Says Studs raised there. And the lead taking GD. So everyone can start you complaining now, says Neil. And we have got there, it's runaway time, says Jeff J. And oh hell, Richie says Rio Gamer. And handling errors, 11 from New Zealand Lions, 3. Yeah, the Lions have been pretty clinical throughout this contest. Oh, Moonga shanked that one away to the left-hand side. So New Zealand leading by 1 point at this stage of the contest. Way to go, the AB, says Kiwi Cindy. Rico has played well. Rugby order is restored, says DIY Guru. And Blackadder is a beast. Blackadder, for me, is man of the match here for New Zealand. I think he's been, like, for a guy that gets so much stick, like, he's had a real deal type of performance here. And I know straight away some people will go, oh, but it's up against the Lions. But I think we've seen the Lions certainly proven themselves on paper here. And throughout the first 63 minutes. Without Blackadder in this game, I think New Zealand are behind by a lot more. And now they're leading. We have got there, that smile come through. It's because I had a voice crack, so I got embarrassed. We have got there, got a bit of a shock. Late scoring needs a lot more tries. And what do you think of Eric Cronje? I think he's extremely underrated. For the Lions, here comes another backline from New Zealand out to Anton Leonard-Brown. Flying down the wing, going for the chip in behind. Here comes the pace of Bowden Barrett. Awkward bouncing ball. Had to be controlled at the back from Chris Smith. Cleaned up by Leonard-Brown in the tackle. About 25 metres out from the line. Everyone loves Blackadder. They just don't know it yet, says Studs Race. Yohan Chami has made some space for the next match, says Mashihu. You know, I think with that openness in the number 19 jersey, I think you probably chuck Blackadder in there. Although maybe you give him a bit of a spell. Maybe you give him the chance for the 3rd test match. The worst thing about rugby is when they introduce the ball. Says Zero Cool. Oh, that one's going to be taken back by the Lions. Mistake from Hassim Pede. And now the All Blacks, another attacking chance from the 22-metre line. 71 points so far between these two sides. Number 12 for Black will be off the field now. And Blackadder goes 4th, says I am nutty. We do see also Jacob is on the field for Timothy Tavanawai. Bradley Slater, he makes his way on for Samasoni Taukiaho. Ethan deserves 6, not Parker. To Parker's credit, he did all right off the bench in the test match. I feel like he did much better than many people expected when they saw his name on the team sheet. But I agree. I think that Blackadder here has really shown that he will be a great option. Now rolling more for the Kiwis. Bradley Slater, tell you what, Eric Cronje, he was almost on that ball. In fact, I believe he's got the turnover, does he? No, they're going back for the original advantage, though, for New Zealand. Did Sky fix their feed? I'm not actually too sure whether or not they've got it back as of yet. I think it was working better in the second half. I'm watching on DSTV. I've actually got a South African broadcast going. Maybe not the win by 30, as I stated earlier, but still a win for them, says Luke Spanner. Now another throw. It'll work out. I think my All Black spike, well, I don't think 34 is on the cards. I think 24 is closer if they continue the momentum that they've built here. Anton Brown laying down the law to his team. Says Nutter Boy. Now thrown into the front, taken by Jamie Hanna. Bradley Slater, this could be his opportunity to score his first try in an All Blacks kit, but it's beautifully defended by the Lions, shutting it down from the get-go. This ball's not coming out, and the Lions get the scrum feed. Down by still the 1 point, but it is not over yet. What is the score currently? 35-36 in favour of New Zealand. They have not been in the lead for a lot of this contest up until now, but it's JC Pretorius, the superstar from the Sevens, also a superstar for the Lions. Doesn't get anywhere near as much game time as he should throughout a URC season. Well done, Lions. Ball from New Zealand. Says Studs raised there too. And when I lose, the Lions seem to have played their hearts out, says Hillberry. Yeah, they have gone into this game and fully committed, as the way you describe it. Some of the other URC teams seem standoffish at times. The Lions have just taken it to New Zealand. They've said, look, we're good enough to be here, and we're gonna well and truly show what we're all about. And Paddy injured. I don't think he was injured. They just took him off early, more than likely to play him this weekend up against the Springboks. Now Hassim Ped, you need to put this ball into the scrum. It looks like it's a solid one until it drops. So we are going to have another reset here. See there, big man Boan Fenty will certainly shore up this Lion scrum. It's an absolute unit of an individual. Rassi has used them at times throughout the last 24 months. Where are they and who's got the ball? So it is a Lion scrum 5 metres out from their own line. At this point in time, the All Blacks were able to get themselves a free kick from the last one. But the crowd, well and truly fired up. The high school students all shouting as well. Where's the ball? 5 metres out from the Lions line, and they have got the feed. Is anyone playing from the first test in this game? Only Larkai off the bench, Preston off the bench, Leonard Brown off the bench. Those are the only 3 that I can think of anyway. I don't think anyone else featured in test match number 1. Oh, penalty goes the way of the Lions. How much time is left? Still another 12 minutes remaining on the clock at the moment. This is what the ABs versus box score should have looked like. Says R9. And also got to give credit where credit is due. Hands off to the Lions for putting such a score against the second best team in the world. Well, says Rudy there. And also we have got there whose half are we in. The Lions are still within their own half. They are struggling to get it down the field. Moonga needs to pass to Ioane. Says Octo Dad. It's a good kick downfield there. Down towards that halfway line. They're just talking about the altitude factor in here as well. So we'll go like that. We'll go like that. And Lions are roaring. Says Octo Dad. And 38-36. Is that the end score prediction? You're giving the Lions a 3-pointer somewhere. They are outside the 50. I believe 50-22 is not on the table. That one's going to be claimed by the Lions. Hassim Ped, it's taken back in. Good tackle there from New Zealand on Notch. Chipped him behind. Nicely handled by Peter Larkai, who was ready for it. In fact, no, that wasn't Larkai there. It was Satiti. Now another turnover opportunity there for the Lions, who are really aggressive in these breakdowns. Preston away to the left-hand side. Blackett moves it on to Satiti. Now open space for New Zealand again. Getting out wide to Rico Ioane, cutting back in, beating defenders flat out here. At the moment is Ioane Seula-Mau with the straightening run. 10 metres. Inside of their own half here, New Zealand. Jacob moves it on to Moni Narawa. Offload to Larkai. Running out of space, so he'll chip it infield. But it's taken by Mahashi and a penalty. An offside against New Zealand. Now the Lions again will be able to go downfield. I've got the All Blacks giving me chest pains. It can't be that bad. So here's Jeff J, and also we're going to come on the All Blacks, says Josiah. And Mwanga third choice 10. So here's Daniel Cleary. And Blackett will be too tired. I agree. I think that he's had a shift and a half out there, and they probably should give him a little bit more time off. But test match number 3, he's in there. Surely. We have you there, Sky Sucks, your audio's prime, bro. Says Waddy there. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Too much sideways and not enough front foot. Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of just 45-degree running. And they're expecting a gap in the Lions' defence to open up. But the Lions weren't born yesterday. They know that if you're going in the side shuffle, you're eventually going to straighten, and they've been ready for it. We see Xavier Numia now making his way onto the field. That is for Loaki, who had a pretty solid game from the number 1 jersey, you'd say, other than when they did get pushed over in the scrum. But I think that whole pack for New Zealand struggled there. Oh, the hesitancy at line-out time from the Lions. It was almost a pump fake. Going away to the right-hand side again. Eric Cronje tackled about 22 metres out from the New Zealand line. They score now, the Lions. They are well and truly in with a shot of being able to win this game, but they need points, and they need them soon. Richard Creel going across Smith. Now JC Pretorius wrestled close to the sideline. I believe he was out. And it's going to be New Zealand taking it quickly. Kyle Preston has been called back. So Lions did touch the ball. Time at the moment is 71 minutes through in this contest. New Zealand still lead by the 1. And close South Africans will come. So here's Waddy there. Hopefully nobody gambled their house away this morning. Well, the crazy thing is, right, New Zealand were paying $1.01. So I hope no one was like, oh, well, I'll stick my 10 grand on it to make back. Oh, maths is hard. 10 grand, you would have to make back 100. I hope no one did that. But then at the same time, they might still get it. And after an evening of being offside, first time they are penalised, says Johan, hello, Johan. It's not like you to call out a referee. We have got the All Blacks and cheating are 1. Says KW. And All Blacks are 49ers. Says Tui there too. Now rolling forward. With Bradley Slater with the ball in hand. 25 metres out from the line. And still marching forward. Who's in charge? Says Ellis there. Now Preston. Way to the left-hand side. Larkai to Leonard Brown. 2-man tackle on him by JC Pretorius as well as Chris Smith. Another pass from Blackadder. Moong breaking the line. Gets through JC Pretorius. Showing the class and the pace from Larkai on his side. Ball off to him. Trying to link up play. Oh, Bowden Barrett shouldn't have been anywhere near there. And it's caused an error for New Zealand. Moonga standing still, passes off to Blackadder, who's still going to keep on trying to run it. Offload up to Wallace Satiti. The All Blacks, though, they should have had a try, and they've blown the opportunity to do so. Jamie Hanna now tackled about 45 metres out from the Lions try line. And it ended up with Bowden Barrett pretty much just coming in from nowhere and getting in the way of the Lions or of the All Blacks back line. We have got their drop goal Lions. We have got there, he's still crying about Fabian Holland's offside. That wasn't even offside. So here's Johnny there. Now 45 metres out from the line, New Zealand with 7 minutes remaining. Kyle Preston. Now it looks like All Blacks going box kick from halfway. That's a new tactic that we haven't seen throughout this contest too often. Amoni Narawa chasing after this one. Chris Smith, though, no one getting close enough to him. Although great work in the breakdown from Ethan Blackadder to almost rip it away. Shout for the Lions defenders there. Who did that against 3 attackers? Says Thuds Race. My guess is Kewan Horn with the way that he's been playing today. And seeing as he would have been at the back. Now Hassan Pede going for the chip of mine. That was almost obstruction on a Lions player on Killian Peku. Bit of a drop ball from Jamie Hanna on the ground. And it's ruled as the knock on. And Jamie Hanna will take Vai's place. See, it's random stuff. Whose ball is it? It is now going to be the Lions ball around the halfway mark. The tackle made there from JC Pretorius, and the ball just slipping out of the fingertips of Jamie Hanna. There there, Hamish says Tatiana. There as well, currently 6 minutes left in this contest, ladies and gentlemen. They are running on the drinks. The pressure is still well and truly on here. We have it there after an evening of being offside. That is the first time they are penalised. That's the second time you said that, Johan. We have it there. Please don't get a penalty. Says Rio Gamer. Our last second drop goal would be sweet. And it could happen. And Boda Barrett can F off, says Tyler. And also come on the Lions. And where can I watch the game? Not Sky Sport now. Unfortunately, they were having technical difficulties pretty much all throughout this match. So I'm hoping it's come right by this stage, but you just never know. Come on the Lions, says Albert. And Boda may not even make the ball boy bench on Saturday with this performance, says Andy. And also 35-17, 3 unanswered tries, threw it away. Yeah, the second half happened, and the last 20 minutes happened too. That's when the New Zealanders normally do find their stride. Although, to the Lions' credit, they had that little bit of an onslaught from New Zealand, and then they fought back, which is something that a lot of the, like I mentioned, the other URC sides have not been able to do. What a game, says Anthony. Yeah, quite the epic encounter, and it's not over yet. 6 more minutes to determine who wins this one. We have got their All Blacks win no matter 1 point or not. And Buchanan Blast, says Lloyd. And come on, the All Blacks, you can do it. The ball now put into the scrum. Big push from the New Zealand pack. That is a statement and a half. Definitely after the pushover that they received in the first half the first stages of the half when Frankie Horn was able to score. Huge scrum, says I am nutty. I miss South Africa and Super Rugby, says Harlem there too. Oh, who's the captain, says Angus Gunn, and Richie Moonga is the man that he's talking to. Got a lot of money on under 86.5 single. Need Lions win on my other single, says TJ. Take the 3, says Suds race. And again, New Zealand are looking aggressive, going towards the corner here. Statement made, boys, says Josiah. Yeah, that was the game, says Manny Smith. But yeah, huge scrum from New Zealand. It is just power from Seula Mau as well as Xavier Numia, who has proven to be quite the handful at scrum time for New Zealand throughout this greatest rivalry tour. We've had 24 lineouts in this contest. Who has the ball? The All Blacks 22 metres from the line. Bradley Slater about to throw this one in. And it's taken the front of the line out by Jamie Hanna. This one now staying still for now. They were told to use it once very quickly by Angus Gardner, but now it starts to march again. Oh, Preston waiting patiently at the back of this maul, although it is still moving for New Zealand. Get ready to use it is the comment from the ref. And Preston now using it. Baltimore, a little bit of a set piece here from New Zealand, looking short side, no pass coming away. Preston back across to the left again, finds the hands of Xavier Numia. Gets through one. Now play on, pick and go. New Zealand trying to up the tempo here for the final moments of the game, showing the gas tank. Now pick and go from Jamie Hanna again. That man's just been everywhere since making his way out onto the field. How much time is left? Currently still another 4 minutes remaining in this contest. Who did Hanna replace? Patrick Tuipulotu. So more than likely Tuipulotu will find himself in that test match this weekend. Now Moni Narawa moves it away to the left. Peter Larkai, 4 metres short. The line for the All Blacks at the moment. Preston goes across to Jamie Hanna. Big spot tackle had to be made on him. Preston moves it away to the left-hand side. Wide cut-out pass. Running onto it. Ioane tries to go to Barrett, who drops the ball. And it goes into touch. Lions wanted to take it quickly, but they aren't allowed to. Tell you what. Every time he touches the ball at the moment, Beauden Barrett, something goes wrong for New Zealand. It sounds harsh, but it's become the reality in the second half at the moment. And what have the second team been doing? It's such an error-ridden game. And the worst All Blacks team ever. They're just showing here for a potential deliberate knock forward. I don't think... Okay, it's a knock-on only, so New Zealand get lucky and they do have the scrum now. How many drop balls by Beauden Barrett? It's probably 5 at this stage, somewhere around there. Great D by the Lions. New Zealand a little bit too predictable. Says Thuds race. And also, this is not a bad result for a Lions team. I think the All Blacks are just tired, says Hangarat. This is a massive result for this Lions side, and it's going to be gutting if they lose by 1 point, but they have been by far the best URC side out of South Africa. And I think one of the big reasons for that is because they have only lost Morne van den Berg. They have been able to work together as a unit. Mahashe's been incredible from that number 6 jersey. The backline have worked as one, and they have shown probably Rassi a few little tricks in terms of this All Blacks team. But the problem is, they've shown him it for this team. But this is not the team that's playing the Box. In fact, only about 3 or 4 of these guys will be playing up against the Springboks, more than likely across the test matches with the exception of injury. So, yeah, it's a bit of a standalone game, but it's been quite the matchup. And the Lions do deserve to only lose this game by 1. I don't think any more than that would warrant a decent, fair scoreline with what they've done today. New Zealand not playing test match rugby. It's felt like a Barbarians game, hasn't it? In the way that this match is kind of played out. It seems like New Zealand are just at times throwing around for the sake of a big scrum again from the Kiwis. Peter Larkoi. It's this ball at the back of the scrum now, almost able to break through. Now up to Josh Jacob, moves it on to Barrett, out to Amoni Narawa, cutting back in, through about 3 Lions defenders and still finishes it off for the last minute try. For the New Zealanders, a lot of doubles being scored in this contest. 1 second, we'll go like this. And we'll go like that as well. The 79th minute for Amoni Narawa here. We'll go like that as well. Yes, boy, our Lions have played horribly, says Josiah. They haven't, not at all. I think that the Lions have actually been thoroughly impressive in this one. The greatest rivalry streak continues, says Rio Gamer. And we have there, this looks like AB's F team, says Ocean. Also the 3 Lions on the shirt. I never stop believing. How difficult is conversion? Well, that is a decent point, actually, although 10 seconds remaining on the clock, 15 on the shot clock. So Mo'unga will be able to use up the remaining time here. I don't see New Zealand going aggressive and trying to get one more. But there's the 80-minute siren. Mo'unga now striking the ball, misses away to the right, and the All Blacks have won this game by 6 points in what has been an absolutely phenomenal battle out there on the park. There are a lot of question marks. But again, this is going to be a very different looking team to what we do see this weekend. But the Lions, they definitely showed why they were a side that, out of all the URC teams, had the best chance. Narawa showing his spot on the team, never in doubt. See his studs raised there. And we have got there, as my boys are homesick now. You must be relieved, Hamish. Not really. I feel like the Lions deserve to win that game. But, like, the All Blacks will be happy to keep that streak going. It would have been great to see a restart. Yeah, that would have been quite awesome, wouldn't it, if we had seen one more little moment. And the Dave Rennie record is 8-0 now. Someone said Dave Rennie should drop Beauden Barrett. He is making errors upon errors, got to go. And there's a game, this is the game, was a great development and test for this All Blacks team. And toughest team this year, says Rio Gamer. And cheers, Hamish, love your works. And Shot Lions, very brave performance, well done. And we have their toughest URC team, says Rio Gamer. And thanks for the commentary, bro. No worries at all. And yeah, I do hope that a lot of you guys who didn't get to watch on Sky Sport either get to watch a replay or you get some sort of like deal from Sky, because it was poor that they were missing pretty much most of this game. But yeah, it is greatly appreciated you guys tuning in. Some of you maybe we'll never see again on the channel unless Sky have another big issue. But yeah, we are here every weekend with the matches of international rugby. We do Super Rugby, the URC, the Sevens as well. Like usual, the Lions choked. I think that they unfortunately just ran out of steam at that last moment, and that scrum later on in the game is where New Zealand got their momentum back. Shot Hamish says random stuff. And also we have got their Otham was terrible too. Yeah, I would say, like, of course I'm going to do it in my review, but certain players I think for the All Blacks have really stepped up in this game and have proven that they should be a part of those test match equations. Other guys said that they're still a little way away. What happened to Sky had 0 issues. Sky Sport now is down for pretty much the whole first half and the hour build-up of this contest for a lot of people. They were showing the cycling, and it was frozen. Let's ask, bro, about Safo Moore. Cody Taylor, you think Moore should be first runner at 2? I'm going to say probably he should be, but he won't be. I believe in this scenario, Cody Taylor still has enough to add in terms of his experience to the starting lineup, and I think he'd be a crucial part to have early up against Malcolm Marx and then Alicia Moore later on with Numia as well as either Tossie or Null in terms of that bench, and really watch them thrive or maybe flourish in the later stages. Hard to say, of course, but they seem to get better as the match wears on, and those benches, again, made a big difference for New Zealand here. I couldn't watch your stream because of the video issues, but stopping by to say thanks and drop a like. See Smegalicious, thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. And yeah, we are back this weekend, sitting with the All Blacks versus Springboks, as well as Argentina versus Australia. That is a game that a lot of people have forgotten has taken place this weekend, but we will be covering that one too. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and we are going to have that review coming out in about 25 minutes time. We'll see you all for the next one.